Because if we start, then the introduction they will not be there, and after that whole class they are just seeing on the sky. Even simple things they don't understand. Okay, just we will revise the yesterday's class. So yesterday we were discussing so the Brahma, Paramatma, Bhagavan. These are the three kinds of the realizations of absolute truth based upon the worshippers' eligibility. Absolute truth is realized in the form of Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. So this explanation, what is Brahman, what is Paramatma, what is Bhagavan, this was the same question, like how we want to know, the same way the king Nimi also desiring to know. That's why he asked a question to the Pippalayan. This means this topic is from 11th canto. Then Pippalayana replied. So Bhagavan means this and this. Stityudbhava pralaya hetur ahetuhu. This is the definition of Bhagavan. Then also he said, what is Brahman? Yat swapna jagrata sushuptishu sad bahischa. The one which exists in the three stages, swapna, jagrata, and sushupti, and also apart from these three. That means in the samadhi also exist. So that is known as Brahman. And also he said, what is Paramatma? Paramatma means by which, so this body, mind, and also the life air, everything is controlled or is activated. So that is known as Paramatma. Like this we have seen discussion very elaborately. Do you have any question on this? Anyone, any question? Everyone understood? So we have two new students on the online. So Sandarbha Prabhu and also Ramakrishna Prabhu. So Ramakrishna Prabhu and Sandarbha Prabhu, I am just explaining Bhagavat Sandarbha, and in this today we discussed yesterday the features Brahman, Paramatma, Bhagavan. So these three features, how they are defined by the Pippalayan. Pippalayan is a Navayogendras, one among the 9 Navayogendras. So he said, he explained that. So based upon that we discussed in yesterday's class. In the today's class we are going to discuss what is the eligibility for realizing the Brahman. That is the today's discussion. Yes. Anuched number 6. 6th Anuched. So if you have book, you can open that 6th Anuched, then you can see. I am following the Sanskrit from the Mula, actually from the Haridas Shastri. He is in this book, the Mula is there. So that's why I am reading every sentence, Sanskrit sentence, and I explain in English. So if you have books, then you can also open and see, or otherwise also it's okay. So but first of all, I want to know my voice is clearly audible or not. Huh? Ramakrishna Prabhu, you are saying something? Hello? Very clear, okay. Okay, Prabhu, thank you. So now today we are going to discuss the eligibility or the qualification to realize the Brahman. So now, Anuched number 6. Atha vadanti ityadyasya पद्यस्य प्रत्यवस्थापनं यावत् तृतीय संदर्भम उद्भाव्यते. So that is already yesterday we have seen few more lines also in this. Anuched, we just started yesterday. Just I am revising once again. I am repeating the same thing. So what we saw, our Bhagavat Sandarbha is starting from the sloka Vadanti tat tattva vidas tattvam yasgnanamadvayam brahmeti paramatmeti bhagavaniti shabdyate. This is the fundamental sloka. Based upon this we are going to define the paramatatvam. So paramatatvam is realized in the form of Brahman, Paramatma and Bhagavan. And in this book Bhagavat Sandarbha and also in the next book Paramatma Sandarbha, in two books we are going to read the three features Brahma, Paramatma and Bhagavan. In the Bhagavat Sandarbha especially we are going to study Brahman and Bhagavan. And in the Paramatma Sandarbha, Paramatma feature we are going to discuss. So now तत्र योग्यता वैशिष्ट्येन आविर्भाव वैशिष्ट्यं वक्तुं ब्रह्माविर्भावे तावत् योग्यता माह. So if feature is one, that means the paramatatvam, absolute truth is one, then why it is realized in the three ways? Because of the yogyata. Yogyata means the ability. The ability of the upasaka is different from one to another. So that's why they are seeing the absolute truth in three ways. So then what kind of ability is necessary to realize absolute truth as Brahman? That today we are going to discuss. So Brahmaji himself is saying, when Brahma Vimohan Lila happened, in that incident Brahmaji is glorifying Krishna. In that glorification you can see so the process of realizing the Brahman realization. So the sloka is तथापि भूमन् महिमा गुणस्यते विबोद्धुमर्हत्यमलान्तरात्मभिः अविक्रियात् स्वानुभवादरूपतो ह्यनन्यबोध्यात्मतया न चान्यथा. So the translation also we have read yesterday. That's a BBT translation. So the translation is like this. I can explain this sloka like this. Bhuman, oh my dear Lord. So, oh my dear, Sarva Rupena Gunena Cha Ananta. That means, oh unlimited Lord. Bhuman means who is having this so many opulences. So, oh unlimited Lord. Mahima Agunasyati. Your unmanifested form. The glory of, Mahima means glory. The glory of Agunaha. Agunaha means unmanifested form. Krishna is the manifested form of the absolute truth and Brahman is the unmanifested form. Agunaha. Agunasya mahima. That means the glory of your unmanifested form is known by whom? Vibodhumarhati. Te vibodhumarhati amalantaratmabihi. That means by the jnanis who are free from the material contamination. Those jnanis are able to understand the glory of your unmanifested form. So then how they realize? Avikriyat swanubhavat. Just by realizing themselves, by their own experience, by realizing themselves, they are able to realize the Brahman. So what is this realizing his own or realizing self? What is this? And by realizing his self, then how he can realize the Brahman? That we will discuss more clearly. So and next, yes, Brahman. Unmanifested means where the features are not manifested. That means seeing the absolute truth without any features means unmanifested. In that way I am saying. Or otherwise your form without attributes. You can say, instead of using unmanifested, you can also use the parallel word. That means that means you, seeing you without any attributes. Seeing you without any attributes. So that means the agunasya, agunaha means where there are no attributes. That means you without attributes. So the glory of you without attributes. Agunasya mahima. Mahima means glory. Glory of whose? Agunasya. Agunasya means the Krishna without any attributes. So agunasya mahima vibodhu marhati. These munis, so they are able to know. They are able to know. So this glory. How they are able to know? By realizing themselves. So, and also ananya bodhyatmataya, by they seeing the non-difference between themselves with the absolute truth, so they can realize finally the glory of the Krishna without attributes. This is the full meaning of the sentence, the sloka. Where is Sandipana Muni? He is coming. He thinks that he is coming to the class for the teacher's benefit. And after the class, he says so many things. But action, there is nothing. You come. So next. Yadyapi brahmatve bhagavatve cha durgneyatvam uktam tathapi he bhuman swarupena gunena cha ananta te tava agunasya anavishkruta swarupa bhuta gunasya yo mahima mahatvam brahatvam brahmatvam iti yavat ata kasmaduchyate brahma brahmati brahmayati cha iti srutehe sa tava mahima amalantaratmabhihi Shuddhantah karanaihi janaihi vibodhum arhati. This is the one line, the complete one line. Now, see in this sloka, what is the starting word in this sloka? Tathapi. What is the meaning of tathapi? Still. Still. When we use still, even though so and so and so, still, like this we use, it is a relative word. It is not an absolute word. So, still always go with the even though. Yadyapi, tathapi. Like it's a tathapi is a relative word. So, yadyapi is the starting word. Both are like connected words. Yatha, tatha. So yat, tat. Like this. Yaha, saha. So, these are all relative words. Even in every language we see. So in the same way here, tathapi is said here. Then why tathapi? That means still. Then what is the yadyapi then? That is explained here. Yadyapi brahmatve bhagavatve cha durgneyatvam. Even though realizing Brahman and realizing the Bhagavan both are difficult, still realizing the Brahman is more difficult. Realizing the Brahman is more difficult, yes or no? Yeah. Yadyapi, both are difficult, but Brahman realization is even more difficult. Tathapi. That's why. Tathapi. He is saying, Brahmaji is saying Tathapi. Cha durgneyatvam uktam. It is said that, even though it is said that realizing the Brahman and Bhagavan both are difficult, realizing or understanding whatever, so still more. Yeah. More difficult because obviously you will get this only. Both are difficult, but still the Brahman realization is like that. You can derive the meaning actually. Otherwise, he is explaining. That means still. That means both are difficult. Still, he is explaining about the Brahman realization now. So now how he is explained? Tathapi, still, hey Bhuman. That means Swarupena Gunena Cha Ananta. That means Krishna is infinite. Bhuman means he is infinite with his own qualities, the self-manifested qualities. He is having so many self-manifested qualities. Te means tava agunasya anavishkrutaha swarupabhuta gunasya yo mahima. So here agunaha, Krishna is also agunaha. Agunaha means, see Brahmaji how he is saying, how he is glorifying. One place, one side he is saying Bhuman, and another side he is saying agunaha. This is complete realization. Krishna is having infinite transcendental qualities, and also he is aguna. That is a mystery. That is a achintya. That is inconceivable. That is the mystery in this. Brahmaji is saying, one side you are swarupena gunena cha anantaha, and te tava agunasya. Agunasya means anavishkruta swarupa bhuta gunasya. That means where the internal qualities due to internal energy, where the qualities due to internal energy are not manifested. What is that? That is form is Brahman. Brahman means where there is no manifestation of qualities due to internal energy. So that means that Krishna is not manifesting. No, he is manifesting, but we are not able to see. We are not able to see. So that's why, that means in that realization it is not manifested. When yogi or when gnani realize the absolute truth, then he is realizing the absolute truth without any qualities. In that realization, he is not manifesting qualities. You are getting? For him, in his realization, he is not manifesting. Sadhaka's realization, he is not manifesting. That is the point. Agunasya yo mahima. That means mahatvam, glory. So agunasya mahatvam, that means the glory of Brahman. What is that? Bruhatvam, Brahmatvam. That glory of Brahman is nothing but the Bruhatvam. Bruhatvam means unlimitedness. What is the here agunasya mahima is said? Agunasya mahima means the glory of Brahman. What is the glory of Brahman? Brahman is Bruhatvam and Brahmatvam. What is the glory means quality. So if there is a pot, what is the quality of the pot? Potness. Similarly, if you say glory of Brahman, then what is that? That means guna of the Brahman. What is that? Bruhatvam and also Brahmatvam. Bruhatvam means unlimitedness. Huge. Unlimited. So, Brahmatvam. Brahman, Brahmatvam. Brahmanness. Ikshter na shabdam. Yato vacho nivartante. Where there are no words can be used to explain. Brahman you cannot explain by the words. Because it is unlimited. You cannot explain by the words. Yeah. Brahmatvam means Brahman, like Ghataha, Ghatatvam, Pataha, Patatvam, Brahman, Brahmatvam, Brahma, Brahmatvam. What is the potness? The potness, that means this Brahmatvam is existing in the Brahman, that's why he is Brahman. Like Ghata is having the Ghatatvam, that's why it is Ghata. Like Manushas are having the Manushyatvam, that's why Manushya. Yeah, now we are, if you want to understand Brahmatvam, who can understand? That is a topic, that is a discussion, today's discussion. Who can understand that Brahmatvam? What is the quality you need? What is the eligibility? So that is explained here now. Your question is right. Then you wait for the answer. So if you have to get this some special quality, then only you can understand, realize this Brahmatvam. Yeah. Yavat. So that's why Brahman is having the Brahmatvam. And how can you say Brahman is having the Brahmatvam or the Bruhatvam? Brahman is having the Bruhatvam. The Upanishad itself is saying, Ata kasmaduchyate Brahma Brahmati Brahmayati. Brahmati Brahmayati. Why that object is known as Brahman? What is the reason? Why we have to call unmanifested form of the, or otherwise, so attributes, form of the Lord without attributes is known as Brahman? What is the reason? What is the reason? Because it always grows, brumhati, and also it will always make others to grow. Brumhati, brumhayati, iti Brahma. Kasmaduchyate, why we have to say it as a Brahman? Because it increases and also it will make others to increase. So that's why it is known as Brahman. Yeah. So iti srutehe, it is Upanishad statement actually. If you want more elaboration, we will discuss in the Upanishad readings. So that means it grows and it's unlimitedly always grows. And also it others to grow. Sa tava mahima amalantaratmabhihi suddhantah karanaihi janaihi vibodhumarhati. Then who can understand this glory of the Brahman? Who can understand? Who can know? Amalantaratmabhihi. By the Jnanis, whose heart is free from the material contamination. Suddha antah karanaihi janaihi vibodhumarhati. Tesham bodhe prakashitum arhati samartha bhavati. That means these sages, rishis, or the jnanis who are free from the material contamination, they can understand the glory of Brahman. They are fit. Kasmat nimittat, why they are able to understand? What is the reason? Why not others? So, for example, here is a Karatal. Everyone can realize this. Everyone can understand. This object is Karatal just by seeing. Like this, Brahman also should be understood by everyone. Why not? Why everyone is not able to understand? The reason is Swanubhavat Shuddhatvam Padardasya Bodhat. Why these only the rishis or the jnanis only can understand? Why? Because first of all, because first thing is, oh, मुझे बहुत, I don't want that. उसको बोलिए. उसको हल्ला करना नहीं बोलिए. So why these jnanis they understand? First of all, their antakarana is free from the material contamination, and also one more reason is swa anubhavat. That means Shuddha tvam padardasya bodhat. In the sloka you see the word Swanubhavat is there or not? Swanubhavat means it is a hetu, panchami ekvachan. That means it is a hetu. This hetu is saying that, what is this hetu? Why they are able to understand the glory of the Brahman? The reason is they understood they Swanubhava. That means they realized Shuddha tvam padartha. What is Shuddha tvam padartha? I am soul. Realizing himself as I am soul. This is known as realizing of Shuddha tvam padartham. I am Indian. This is what? This kind of realization is contaminated realization. This is asuddhatvam padartham. So, I am the soul is the shuddhatvam padardhasya bodha. They understood the shuddhatvam padartham. That's why they are able to understand the glory of Brahman. Now, now Purvapakshi is coming, opponent. They are asking a question. Brahmaji, you are saying very nicely. Now I have a question. What? Nanu anubhavaha kalu antakarana vrittihi sacha stula sukshma deha vikaramayeva sati katham nirvikaram tvam padardham vishayam kurvita. This is the question. The question is like this. These jnanis, they realized suddhatvam padardham. Suddhatvam padardham means there is no swarupa. Just it is I am soul. That means I am chit. I am not the matter. I am spirit. This much realization is known as Suddhatvam Padardham. That means I am the servant of the Krishna. This is the beyond actually. It's beyond this realization of Suddhatvam Padardham. It is even more further superior. These munis, these jnanis, they didn't realize I am the servant of Krishna, but they realized I am not matter, I am spirit. So this kind of realization, that means Suddhatvam Padardham is nirvikaraha. There is no vikara in that. That means there are no qualities. Nirvikara means there is no akara, there is no shape, there is nothing, there is no form. This kind of realization, Suddhatvam Padardham, is not having any form. It's not matter. There are no qualities, nothing. So in this case, then how they experienced this Suddhatvam Padardham? Because main objection is kalu antakarana vrittihi. If you want to realize anything, what is the process? If you want to realize now this object, this is the karatal. This object, if you want to realize, how you will realize? You first will see this. Then that means your antakarana is coming out through the eyes in the channel to this object. Your antakarana is coming and reaching to the object. Then that antakarana is taking the shape of this object. Then you are able to understand. That means, so this object is karatal. That means already you know karatal, and now this shape of this object is formed in the antakarana, and both are matched, which you know already very long back. What is karatal? You already have impression, and these both are matched. Then you will understand, oh, this object is karatal. Yes. This is the way. That means if in this material world any object is realized through the antakaranam, that means antakaranam will take the shape of that object. Yeah. So already means, you see, you understood this is object. So if you want to figure out this is the name, then that is you need already some impression. But now if you want to know some object is there which is made up of metal and these so many things, that you can do without any prior. So now the point is you try to understand, in this material world any object is realized by the antakarana. That is the main point. Oh, object पहले देखा नहीं देखा, what is this is not the discussion now. The principal point we should take, because we should reach to our target. What is the Purvapakshi's question? That should be understood first. Then you go to the another places. So that's why first is kalu antakarana vrittihi anubhavaha. Anubhavaha means experience. Experience is nothing but what? Antakarana vrittihi. Experience is nothing but the antakarana vrittihi. So now you ate the laddu. After eating the laddu, if you put on the tongue, then tongue will grasp the taste in that object, and immediately one antakarana vritti will be formed in your antakarana. So then you will realize by that antakarana vritti, so this is the antakarana vritti is nothing but the experience. So who is experiencing all this? Who is experiencing? Soul is experiencing. But in the form of what? In the form of the antakarana vritti. That means shape of the antakarana. Vritti means it's a function of the antakarana. That means antakarana himself will transform in the form of the object. Okay? This is clear? So now, come to the point. Nanu anubhavaha khalu antakarana vrittihi. And what is antakarana? Antakarana is nothing but the is a jada padartha. Sukshma sthula deha vikaramayeva sati. Antakarana vrittihi sthula sukshma. That means antakarana vritti nothing but the transformation of the sukshma deha. Antakarana. Vritti means is nothing but the transformation of the antakarana. Antakarana vritti means transformation of antakarana. Antakarana is nothing but sukshma deha. స్థూల సూక్ష్మదేహ వికారమయ్యేవా సతి కథం నిర్వికారం త్వం పదార్థం విషయం కుర్వీత. Then now the point is, now what we are saying, what Brahmaji is saying, these jnanis, they experienced the tvam padartham. Experienced, that means they got the anubhava of the tvam padartham. But tvam padartham is not like the material padartha. It is spirit. It is nirvikaram. It is not having any shape. Then how this antakarana will take the shape of the tvam padartham? You are getting point? Siddhasaru Prabhu, you got? No. How many of you got question? Only one, two. You need more, okay. I will come. First let us understand the basic, then we'll go to the top one. Otherwise people will think this is also understanding of basic, so they will confuse. Sukshma deha, man, buddhi, ahankar, all three together is known as antakarana. Yes, and now I will explain on the board. Later, yes, question is later. Everyone is saying question later. Board is visible? Okay. Please carefully here. This is the eye. ऐसा इधर देखना है. Okay. This is the object. Pen. Marker. Marker is easy. So marker. This is the eye. And Antakaranam is there inside. This is Antakaranam. Here soul is sitting. Here soul. This is soul. This is soul. This is Antakaranam. This is the eye. And this is the object. Now how you will experience this object? How you will experience that? What is the process? That we have to understand first. In general, this object is material object. Material object, and it is having the material qualities. Yes? Material qualities means it is having the form, it is having the color, and also it is having the hardness. So many. That means these are all the qualities. Material qualities it is having. First of all, it is having the form, shape. It is having the shape. Now, how this eye, that means ultimately who is experiencing? Soul is experiencing. What is experiencing? This object is marker. This object is marker. That experience is coming to whom? Soul. How it is coming, that we will understand. This experience is coming to the soul, then how? So in this there is a major role is Antakaranam. Antakaranam is playing a role. This Antakaranam will travel through the eyes, and in a channel it will reach to the object, and it will turn into the shape of this object. Then what will happen? There is a transformation Antakaranam in the shape of object. There is a transformation in Antakaranam in the form of object. Whatever shape this object is having, that shape is formed in the Antakaranam. So from this vritti, that means that is known as Antakarana vritti. Getting? So that means Antakaranam is transforming in the shape of the object, and the transformation of Antakaranam is known as Antakarana vritti. And by that vritti, there is a connection with the Antakaranam to the soul. So through that vritti, so this soul is realizing this object is marker. Okay? Clear this concept? Anuched Prabhu, clear? Some extent, little. Okay. So now, come to the point. What is objection now? What is the statement we are saying? Gnani experience. Gnani experience Shuddhatvam Padardham. Gnani experienced, or otherwise experienced. He experienced Shuddha Tvam Padardham. Tvam Padardham means soul. Tvam Padardham means soul. Shuddhatvam Padartham means without any, that means without any qualities. Anyway, material qualities are not there. Soul means it doesn't have any material qualities. Even soul, Suddhatvam means it is not at all, even like the Supreme Lord Brahman is there. Similarly, for the soul, Suddhatvam is nothing but the Tvam Padartham without any attributes. Suddhatvam Padartham means soul without any attributes. So, Suddhatvam means in English, you should translate it soul without any attributes. What is the Prabhu question? हाँ पेन पेन नज़दीक करूँ क्या? This is okay? Okay. So Gnani experienced Suddhatvam Padartham. That means without any, he realized the soul without any attributes. This is a statement. Now the objection is like this. What is the objection? Objection is, okay, Suddhatvam Padartham means without any attributes. And Gnani experienced. Experience means Antakarana Vritti. Antakarana Vritti. Experience means Antakarana Vritti. Now the point is, this Antakarana Vritti is nothing but what? Transformation of Antakarana. Antakarana Vritti is nothing but transformation of Antakarana. How the Antakarana will transform? So, when the object is not having any form. Antakarana, if it wants to transform according to the object, means object should have what? Form. Then Antakarana will transform according to that object form. Now, Suddhatvam Padartham is not having any form. Then how Antakarana can transform according to the Suddhatvam Padartham? It is not possible. And also, how can you say then Jnanis realized the Suddhatvam Padartham? This is also not possible. This is the objection. Yes. Is a spirit. I don't bother. Now, in the present question, I don't put a question based upon that. I just put the question that the object which is not having any shape, then how that can be realized by a soul? Because soul can realize when there is an Antakarana Vritti, that means transformation in Antakarana according to the form of the object. But here the object is not having any form, then how the experience can happen? Sample number clear? Yeah. Yeah. Soul is experiencing the pen. Yeah, soul is experiencing this object as a pen through the Antakarana. Yeah. What is the process? Antakaranam will be taking the shape of the or the form of the object. That is known as Antakarana Vritti. So through that, soul is realizing. Yeah. Now the point is, similarly, so if the object is the soul now, without any shape. Yeah, without any form. Now, then there is no shape of there is no transformation in Antakaranam, any shape, then how soul can realize? Yeah, this is the point. You got it? Yes, Prabhu. Antakaranam is nothing but the subtle body. Subtle body. Okay, clear? So now we'll go to the next line. Then what is the answer? This is the question, objection raised. So the answer is tatra aha avikriyat tyakta tattad vikarat. Here now answer is coming like this. See, my dear friend, your question is very nice. You ask nice question. Now see, this soul means gnani. This gnani realized Suddhatvam Padardham. How he realized? When the antakaranam is having no, when the antakaranam is not taking any shape, then he realized. This gnani realized Suddhatvam Padardham. How he realized? Through the antakaranam where there is no transformation. That means avikriyat. Antakaranam is becoming, Muni, antakaranam is not at all taking any shape. In that state he realizes, what is this? Now I will explain this. That means these jnanis, what they do to realize the Brahman, they will make their antakaranam, mind, antakaranam means mind also you can say, such a way it will be non-reactive to anything. What is the practice they do? They train their mind to not to react to anything. Even anything comes, everything they just reject. Not reject or not the, you cannot say reject also. Even they are not rejecting or they are not receiving. Just they are becoming non-active. That means their antakaranam is becoming, that means completely avikriyat. That means no transformation, no change, no vikara. There is no vikara in their heart. If they see a red flower, if we see, oh, it's a red flower, nice, so good smell. This is the vikara in us. But in this case of the jnanis, no vikara. No attraction, no aversion. What Bhagavad Gita in the Krishna Bhagavan is explaining about in the second chapter. There are so many, Sitapagnasya ka bhasha ka sthiti. So there are so many questions. Dukkeshu anudigna manaha, sukeshu vigata spruha, vita raga bhaya krodha. Stitadhir muniruchyate. What is that? I forgot. So he is vita raga bhaya krodha. Everything he left out. All the vikaras are left out. That means antakarana is now completely, is becoming completely vikara sunyam. No changes. So then how, that means antakaranam is completely is free from the any vikara. In that state, then by this soul, that means they will realize themselves. Because soul doesn't need any mind or any senses to realize itself. Then they realize himself as I am Chit. I am soul. This is the Brahman realization. This is the practice. Whole sadhana is depending on what? Making antakarana inactive. Inactive means just no changes in that. For any conditions. It's such a hard labor and such a difficult work. Wait. One. Uh, uh, huh? See, soul is having its form. It is also having so many qualities. Like but Gnani, he doesn't want to see. Like the Bhagavan is also having so many qualities and forms, transcendental qualities. But Gnani, he doesn't want to see, even in the Bhagavan also no qualities, and also he doesn't want to see any qualities in himself also. Ah, yes. So that means he is completely now avikriyat. That means no transformation in the heart. There is no reaction for anything. Huh? Yeah. So now the answer, this is only said by the Brahmaji is saying this is the answer. My dear friend, that's why to realize the soul as a Suddhatvam Padardham, it doesn't need the way to realize the material objects. Antakaranam doesn't need to realize the Suddhatvam Padardham. Here that means Gnani is realizing Suddhatvam Padardham not through the Antakaranam, but he is realizing that by soul itself. Soul doesn't need any faculties to realize. Soul is the enjoyer, and but soul is given with the now senses, internal senses and external senses, to realize the material objects. But soul doesn't need any senses, external senses or internal senses, to realize itself. It doesn't need any external faculties. What is the proof? You are the proof. You already realized when you went to the Sushupti. What happens to you? There is a disconnection from the external senses and internal senses between the soul. Soul is not connected to external senses or internal senses. But still, what you say after the awaking from the sleep? Aham sukham avapsam. I went to deep sleep and I was so happy. I was so happy. That means in the deep sleep state, mind is also not active, body is also not active, senses also not active, nothing is active, nothing is connected to the soul at that time. But still, how you are saying I was happy? Because soul is realizing itself. Soul can experience itself. That's why what Brahmaji is saying, Swanubhavat. See the word, what is their word? In the Swanubhavat avikriyat. Swanubhavat avikriyat. That means avikriyat means there is no vikara in the antakarana, and they realized himself. Swanubhavat. That is the answer. Avikriyat swanubhavat arupataha. Clear till here, everyone? But very important actually. Because very important means many times Bhagavatam sloka is going to the left and right, here and there. So many things will come. If you know the fundas clearly, then at least you understand what is bhakti and what is gnana, what is explained by Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita, first 6 chapters, and what is he is explaining in the next 6 chapters, that at least you will come to know properly. So now next question, once again there is objection from the opponent. Nanu avikriyat means tyakta tattad vikarat. It left, antakarana left the all the vikaras. That means it became, that means that's completely free from the material contamination. That means it is completely free from reacting to the material situations. Antakarana is completely aloof, is completely inactive. So, but this Gnani, if he doesn't make this Antakaranam like that, then what will happen? He cannot realize himself. Always he will see the external things only. Always he will see this is a tree, this is a fan, this is this is that, this is this. Because all the time his soul will be experiencing external objects through this is unstable antakarana, which is always transforming. Now you have to make this antakarana strong and just lock it. So they for this, that's why they use the nishkama karma yoga, which is very hard. That means they try to raise their level to become, that means non-reactive to the anything. It's not so easy actually. So now you did lot of hard labor and there is no result. Immediately our antakarana will go on that, and so who are the cause for this? Why I didn't get the result? Who are my enemies? What should I do? So much we plan. So now you have to train your antakarana from everything, for everything. That means to become non-reactive. That is the practicing of gnana. That means Brahman okkate. That means Brahman only is only the truth, and everything is temporary, false. So or otherwise, that means they can use whatever the gnana, whatever the concepts they may use. Upanishad is having these so many sentences to explain this material world and the connection, so that one can realize one can make their antakarana so such a stable antakarana. To do this, they use the knowledge. What is the sadhana for them? How they make this antakarana such a non-reactive? What is the process? Through the gnana. To the understand the tvam padartha gnana and tat padartha gnana. So by scrutinizingly analyzing and studying, understanding, it itself is a process. Just you are sitting and you cannot expect what is that gnana. Yeah. 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 They study, then finally, so they fix outside, and then through the outside they will become. That means to cross the river, you need boat, and which is already in the water, but we use it and we cross it and leave it. So after that they will leave this knowledge also, this scriptural knowledge also they will leave. They say that's why Vedas also not permanent, only the Brahman. Huh? Uh, it will not possible. Na? You have to practice. It needs lot of practice. You read the 1 to 6 chapters of Bhagavad Gita. Krishna is explaining very detailedly how it is labored, how it is difficult. Dhyayato vishayan pumsa sangaste shopajayate sanjayate kama kamat krodho bhavati. That means even you 10,000 years, somehow you went to such a meditation, you stop rejecting everything from. That means you went to such a meditation, you stopped hearing everything, seeing and also smelling, everything you stopped. This is the yogis they do, the jnanis. They meditate like this, reject everything. But once they just, their sense object, some attractive sense object comes in front, what happened to Vishwamitra? So Vishwamitra is also Brahmagnani actually. And immediately, dhyayato vishayan pumsaha sangaste shopajayate. Immediately, everything will come out. It's not kleshodikitara. What Krishna is saying, it's so very hard. It's not so easy, Mataji. You cannot understand how you are understanding like bhakti. Bhakti is so easy. It's a secret. Bhakti is what? Susukam kartum avyayam. It is very pleasing and happy to practice and to understand. But this marga is kleshodikitara. Paneer. other people, the practitioners, other practitioners in the other ages, that's in the Krita Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, Treta Yuga, what they think? These Kali Yuga people, what sadhana they are doing? They are simply eating and just they are chanting holy name and going back. So these people are so happy and so easily they are getting everything. That's why they are excited to take birth in the Kali Yuga. That is the glory of the Sankirtan movement. That's why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came. Krishna Varnam Tisa Krishnam Sangopangastra Parshidam. So that's why Brahmaji is explaining, why it's not our explanation. Brahmaji is saying himself how difficult this process. Avikriyat Swanubhavat. Yes, Prabhu. Huh. Yes. 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 Now a lot of things are there in between. Now still we have in the process. Okay. Now they realize Suddha Tvampadartham. That much only I said. How they realize Brahman, that is not said till now. That we want to discuss now. Okay. Nanu Vishayakara eva anubhavaha Vishayam upadadita. What is the objection? You see, objection is like this. Vishayakaraha eva anubhavaha. That means, anubhava means antakarana vritti. Antakarana vritti takes the shape of the object. Vishayakaraha eva anubhavaha. Anubhavaha means antakarana vrittihi. Try to understand each word. So then that kind of anubhava only Vishayam upadadita. So when antakarana takes the shape of the object of sense, then only the soul can realize that object. Clear? सांदीपनि मुनि प्रभु, आप आज क्लास में नहीं है लग रहे है ना? So शुद्धत्वं पदार्थस्तु न कस्यापि विषयः स्यात्. शुद्धत्वं पदार्थस्तु न कस्यापि विषयः स्यात् प्रत्यग्रूपत्वात्. So this is also same. That means it's a little connection to the already I took the explanation which is coming for this also to in the last one only. So what is the now objection is, in the previous question what we saw, antakaranam is not at all cause for realizing the suddhatvam padartham. Because that's why material antakarana is not the role, is not taking any role in that. That's why avikriyat. That means when antakarana become non-reactive, then the jnani can realize himself. Now the point is, object is also not having any shape. Object is not having any shape. Then how to realize that? Previous question is, actually I mixed these two questions in the last question itself. In the book you are seeing it as a two questions, but in the explanation I did already. So here this another point is what? Another point is, so object is also not having a form. This is the one point. And antakarana is the materially made up of. It is made up of material. It is made with the material. So these 2 points actually, these are the 2 points, 2 questions raised by the opponent. So now answer is, antakaranam is material, but no problem, because antakaranam is not necessary. Just you make that antakaranam to not to go on the objects which are other than the Suddha Atma. That means you should make that as inactive, so that it will not receive the objects from the external outside world. So that is the thing it should be done. And also how to realize the object which is not having any form, that means antakarana. So tvam padardham is not having any form, then how to realize? So then answer is arupataha. The word arupataha is there. That means arupataha rupyate iti, arupataha rupyate bhavyate iti rupa vishayah tad akara rahitat. The simple, then total is like this. Don't worry, actually nothing is special. Whatever I explained, that is only is just you are seeing in the words. So this is the gnani soul. And what to realize Suddha Tvam Padardham, what are the things are necessary? Summarizing, I am summarizing. He should make antakaranam non-reactive to anything. That means avikriyat. So when he will make this antakaranam non-reactive, then he will realize himself as Atma, Suddhatvam. That means without any features. He will understand Chinmatra. This is the point. Now come to the next. Dehadvayavesha vishayakaratārahitye sati swayameva suttvam tvam padardha prakashitah iti bhavaha. Now Jiva Goswami clearly explaining. After these two questions, he himself is saying, Dehadvaya avesha vishayakaratārahitye. What is the condition to realize the Suddha Tvam Padardham? What is the condition? What is the condition to realize Suddha Tvam Padardham? When it is possible? When Atma can realize himself? That means when this soul, that means stop entering into the antakarana. That means antakarana is becoming inactive, out. Inactive means what? So making, that means antakarana, that means there is no transformation in the antakarana. Means what? So the making antakarana, that means no transformation antakarana. That means you can say in another way also this. What is that? Soul is not entering into the antakarana. That also you can say. So yeah, the point is now antakarana is not taking the shape by seeing the external, when it sees these external objects. Means soul is not entering into the antakarana. Yes? Clear? Soul is not entering into the antakarana. This soul, Dehadvaya, that means Sukshma Stula Dehadvaya Abhinivesha Rahitye. That means soul is not active, or active or otherwise is not accessing the antakarana. Yeah, that means antakarana itself is made, that means senseless to the external objects. So that means what? The another words is soul is not entering into any sukshma deha or the stula deha. Yeah. Yes. Dehadvaya avesha. Dehadvaya avesha means entering into two. Entering into the Dehadvaya means subtle body and the gross body, both. So this soul stopped entering into these two. Entering into two means react. That means accepting the things from here and here, it is stopped. That is possible by what? That is possible by making the antakaranam inactive. Clear? देहद्वयावेश विषयाकारताराहित्ये सति स्वयमेवा, it itself, that means soul itself, suddhatvam padartha prakasate, it can see itself. Okay? Huh? Okay, one example I will say. There is a one ball. There is a ball in the dark room. Okay? Then you want to see that. Then what you need? You need a lamp, and also you need eyes. Yes or no? First you need lamp to just put, that means put a light on that object. Then you can see that object through the eyes. Okay? So here what? To see the object, you need the lamp. But when you want to see the lamp itself, do you need another lamp? Like the object which is in the darkness, if you want to see, so to see that you need external one thing, that is lamp. Now tell me, if you want to see lamp itself, no need of any other lamp. It itself, it can show you. In the same way, when you want to see yourself, that means you means what? Atma. It doesn't need any antakarana. To realize yourself, it doesn't need any antakarana. But if you want to realize any object which is other than you, that means material objects, then you need antakarana to see them. Like when you want to see a ball in a dark room, you need the lamp. So similarly here, if you want to see the pen, laptop and other things, if you want to see all these, soul needs what? Antakaranam. And that means antakarana, how it will play role? What kind of role it will play? It will always transform in the shape of the object. And through that, soul can experience that object. Soul directly cannot travel to that object. But soul, how it is experiencing that object? Through the antakaranam. So, now when you want to realize soul itself, then do you need antakaranam? No need of antakaranam. If you want to see lamp, do you need another lamp? No. No, actually here the analogy should understand like this. So if you want to see the one object which is separate from the lamp, there you need to have the lamp. So But if you want to see the lamp itself, there is no need. Here now, in the case of lamp, you keep the soul. Yeah. So keep the lamp itself. In the place of lamp, you keep the soul. If you want to see the ball, you need the lamp. But if you want to see the lamp, lamp doesn't need any other thing. It itself is sufficient. Logic is you should understand like this. I am understanding your problem, but you should come to the my explanation. Then you will get. So first open the things, everything. What I am saying, you have to keep. So I am giving analogy. In that analogy, where you should keep? You keep soul in the place of lamp. Okay. Lamp and also external object in the place of ball. If you want to see the ball, so then we need what? We need the eye, not only eye, but the light which is coming from that lamp. Yes or no? But if you want to see the light itself, if light otherwise you think like this. If light wants to see, otherwise, light if it wants to see object, then what will happen? It needs the light, the light which is coming from that light. But if it wants to show itself, it doesn't need any other one. Similarly, here the Atma, if it wants to see the external objects, it needs the Antakarana. And Atma wants to see, then it doesn't need any faculties. It itself, Atma itself is the observer and Atma itself is the observed. It is the subject and also it is the object. It is subject and also it is object. Atma doesn't need eyes. Atma itself is a Chetana Padartha. Atma itself is Chetana Padartha. All the concepts what we have, you leave your material concept. Atma is needing, it needs eyes to see Atma also. It is wrong concept. It doesn't need your balls, eyeballs and eyes. It doesn't need that. It itself sees. Means it itself experience. What is the proof? Proof is when you are in the deep sleep state. When you are in the deep sleep state, there is no external senses. There are no any internal senses, nothing. No connection with all these with the soul. Still you are understanding, I am very happy, I was very happy. How you are getting this experience? Is there any role of these internal or external senses in that time? No. In the Sushupti there is no. But still how you are experiencing. How it is possible? Atma experience, the ability is there. Atma is a seer. Atma is a kshetragna. Atma is the knower. Atma is the knower. Mind is not the knower. Senses are not the knower. Who is the knower? Atma. Clear? Okay, next is a example from Shastra. Shastra only this I said this lamp example from the Shastra. This is so to explain about the Atmaram stage. Like you see here, lamp doesn't need any other object to illuminate it. It itself can show. Mm. Mm. Yeah. So that means, so, yeah. This is from the various acharyas in the various books. Paramatma Sandarbha also you can see like this. So Atma is realizing itself by its own. That means like lamp, it can show itself. It doesn't need any other object to show. So same way Atma is able to realize itself. It can experience itself. It doesn't need any mind or intelligence or any senses. Nothing. It doesn't need anything. Yeah, yeah, yes, yes. Even we also realized many times, even in our deep sleep state, we realized ourselves. That's why we felt happy. We experienced ourselves. Yeah. No, no, that is another thing actually. Sushupti only you should take. Yeah, yeah, deep sleep only we should take, because that is the place where external or internal senses all are disconnected with the uh, soul. Still we experience happiness. Then from where it is coming, and who is the experiencer, and who is being experienced? Soul is the person who experiencing, and soul is experiencing whom? Soul is experiencing himself, because at the time there are no external objects, because internal senses and external senses nothing is functioning. So that's why this pleasure is not coming from any other external object, it is coming from itself. That means what? This is proving that soul is having ability to see itself, means experience. Here seeing means not the seeing with the eyes, seeing means experiencing. Experience also is known as seeing in the common language. Here soul is seeing itself, means soul is experiencing itself. Huh? Huh? Eternal bliss means what kind of eternal bliss? That means bliss is there in the soul also, because soul is also Satchidananda Vigraha. Yes, soul is Ananda Vigraha. That means it is a bliss is there in the soul also. Krishna is also Satchidananda Ananda Vigraha. He is also having the pleasure potency. Then which pleasure potency you are saying? Eternal means soul, potency of soul is also eternal. Potency of the pleasure potency of the Lord is also eternal. Which eternal potency you are speaking? Ah. Ah. Yes. But transcendental bliss you can experience through the antakarana also. How? Material objects, material pleasure you can experience through the antakarana. Even transcendental pleasure and transcendental bliss and transcendental objects also can be experienced by the antakarana. Eh? No, when the antakarana is bhakti bhaviteshu antakaraneshu, that means when this antakarana is completely is charged with the bhakti. That means now you took the iron, and you took the one magnet and keep on rubbing, then what will happen? This metal also will function as magnet. When these senses, huh? Yeah, that is antakarana only. Then with the same antakarana, same eyes, you can see the Lord with the same eyes. Dhruva Maharaj is seeing the Vishnu in front of him with the same eyes. When it is possible, when the same these material senses, when they are just by the bhakti, they are charged with the bhakti. Like you take the one iron piece and rub it with the magnet, that iron is becoming the magnet. Yeah. Anuched Prabhu is raising first hand. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Bhakti means what? Bhakti means it's the internal potency of the Lord. And that means Swarupa Shakti Vritti. By that you are seeing. Uh, uh-huh. Yeah, soul is having the Swarupa, so it needs the body. See, it needs soul, needs body. Even in the spiritual world, also, you will be having the spiritual body, which is made up of Swarupa Shakti. Like how you have the body, which is made up of matter now. When you do bhakti, rigorous bhakti, then what will happen? All the body, everything is spiritualized. All you will be getting the spiritual senses. Uh, what you are asking? Is it? Uh, uh, uh. Ah, yeah, he is Dhruva Maharaj, same body, same material body is having, and he is seeing Krishna. Yes or no? And with the same body, he even left also to the spiritual abode. When that is transformed, his body, when he did the pradakshina to that aeroplane, his body became golden form. The same body. He didn't left that body like the people die, like that he didn't leave this material body here and no. That same body he went. That is transformed into the spiritual. Everything is Krishna's energy only. When you just use it for the service, then it will become spiritual. When you put a iron rod in the fire, that is becoming the fire. Okay? Dhritatma? Uh, mm, uh, uh. See, even in this body also he will get this Swarupa. What is the problem? Jivan Muktas, that means who are the liberated souls, even in the like Vasudev. These are Narada. These are all the, and also various so many, Prahlad Maharaj. These are all great devotees. They get this Swarupa knowledge. And also automatically that means their body is spiritualized. So what is the meaning of getting Swarupa? Means you are understanding your position. Your position as a servant or as a friend or as a lover or as a mother with the relation with the, that means Lord. This knowledge is revealed to whom? Is knowledge is revealed to the soul. Then accordingly you need to have the body. Like karma is traveling along with the soul, and based upon the karma you are getting the different bodies. Yes, how that karma is facilitated? By the giving the different bodies to you. The same way bhakti bhava you have, then uh, how that bhava can be executed? By getting the spiritual body. Spiritual faculty should be given. Now you want to serve Krishna as a cow. That bhava you develop. Then you need to get the body of cow. Huh? What? Then you should get the cow body. Who will give that cow body? Krishna will give. Like how, according to karma, you are getting material body here. Based upon your devotional bhava, you will be getting the awarded with the spiritual body. Oh, okay. Anyway, we are in the Brahman realization now. No attributes. Yes. 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 Because soul is itself is a chit padartha. Yeah, it is also having the samvit shakti. That means it is also having the ability to know, and also ability to enjoy, ability to do. All these are all there in that soul. Gnatritvam, bhoktritvam, and kartritvam. This will discuss even very nicely in Paramatma Sandarbha. Lot of discussion is there on this. So now we'll try to understand Brahman realization. To realize the Brahman, what we should do, whatever material antakarana we have, that should be made inactive. Means soul should not enter into the antakarana. There's two words, two ways of expressing same thing. Expressions those are all. देहद्वयावेश विषयाकारिताराहित्ये सति स्वयमेव शुद्धत्वं पदार्थः प्रकाश इति भावः. Now this gnani realized soul, Suddhatvam Padartham. Now the point, if he realized, experienced Suddhatvam Padartham, then how can you say he realized Brahman? Realizing Suddhatvam Padartham means realizing the infinitely small. What is the difference between the Tvam Padartha and Tat Padartha? How much difference is there? Unlimited difference. Tat Padartha is infinite and Tvam Padartha is infinitely small. But now he realized what? Infinite he realized, or the infinitely small he realized? So then how can you say? Then how? But Brahmaji he should answer for this also. Now Brahmaji is saying, Nanu sukshma chidrupa tvam padartha anubhave katham purna chidakara rupamadiya brahmaswarupam spuratu. How it is possible? When he realized only Suddhatvam Padartham, then how to realize the total? That is possible by Ananya Bodhyatmataya. Ananya Bodhyatmataya. Means, what is the meaning of Ananya Bodhyatmataya? Chidakarata Samyena Suddhatvam Padartha Aikya Bodhya Swarupataya. Now, this Gnani, how he will realize Brahman, Purna Brahman? He will see I am also Suddhatvam and Paramatattvam. He read all the Upanishads. From that Upanishads, what he understood about the Tatpadardham? Tatpadardham is also Chit, Chinmatram. I am also Chinmatram and Tat also Chinmatram. And there is no difference between two. Both of us. Aikya, Ananya Bodhya. Ananya, there is no difference between me and that. By this Gnanam, by this knowledge, he will now experience the Purna Brahma. Then how this Aikya Buddhi he can get? How he will get the oneness? Ananya Bodhyata, how he will get? That means that kind of understanding, oneness, how he will get? यद्यपि तादृग् आत्मानुभवानन्तरं तद अनन्यबोध्यता कृतौ साधकशक्तिर्नास्ति तथापि पूर्वतदर्थमेव कृतया सर्वत्रापि उपजीव्यया साधनभक्त्याराधितस्य श्रीभगवतः प्रभावादेव तदपि तत्रोदयत इति भावः. He is saying, yes, when he realized Suddhatvam Padardham, then after that there is no sadhana, na? Will he do any sadhana bhakti there? No. So that's why then how the oneness will come? The oneness will come by the only the mercy of the Lord. The oneness between the Suddhatvam Padardham and the Tat Padardham will come by the mercy of Lord. So how one will get the mercy of the Lord? By what? By the bhakti only. But when did he do that bhakti? After realizing Suddhatvam Padardham, can he do any sadhana? No. Because his antakarana is completely now off. There is no changes in the antakarana. And nothing he will do. He will be realizing himself. Then there is no possibility of doing sadhana bhakti in that stage. Then whatever sadhana bhakti he did previously, before realizing the Suddhatvam Padardham, so because of that sadhana bhakti, because of that lesamatra bhakti, so Krishna will be pleased and finally he will sanction to see the non-difference between himself and also Brahman. That's why naishkarmyamapyachyuta bhava varjitam nasobhate gnanamalam niranjanam. This is the point. Without Krishna bhavana, it is not possible to get the oneness even by the Aikya Buddhi, Aikya Gnanam, or otherwise Brahma Gnanam. Brahma Gnanam will not just knowing the Tat Padardham. That it is just by knowing Tat Padardham, it is not necessary that that means you can see the oneness between the yourself and the Brahman. When it is possible to see the oneness? When there is some bhakti. Some bhakti should be there, which is previously done sadhana bhakti. Yes. Yes. Jivan Mukta, he is not having anything with this world. He can talk and he cannot get any, there is Atma will not at all enter into that. Sitapragnasya ka bhasha. The same doubt whatever you ask, Arjuna previously he asked. Kim vadati, what he speaks. Ka bhasha means what he speaks, how he sit, how he walk. Vrajeta kim, how he walks. You see that section, you will understand. That is for that person only. That who realized that means Atma. That's why finally Jiva Goswami is very clearly he is concluding that Sri Bhagavataha Prabhavadepa Sri Bhagavataha Prabhavat eva tadapi tatra udayate iti bhavaha. By the mercy of the Lord only he can see the oneness between himself and the Brahman. Taduktam vadanti ityadi padyanantaram eva. That is said by the Suta Goswami himself. Tasraddadana munayo gnana vairagya yuktaya Pashyantyatmani chatmanam bhaktya shrutagruhitaya. Pashyanti atmani cha atmanam. There are the two different meaning explanations are there. You can take this is the explanation in the style of the Brahman also, and also you can take in the style of bhakti also. Now there are two different explanations can be given. So gnana vairagya yuktaya pashyanti atmani chatmanam. He sees himself in him. Atmani atmanam, seeing himself in him. This is the one. And another is what? Atmani chatmanam means seeing the Lord in the Atmana means heart. Atmani means heart. Atmana means Lord. That is also explanation. I will take the first explanation. Yeah. Yes. That is the magic actually, Sanskrit. You can take any any magic. So how it is possible? How he can see himself in him? So bhaktya. That is the word, by the devotion. Yes. This is one proof. Next. Satyavratam prati Sri Matsya Devopadeshecha. So Satyavrata or Matsya Bhagavan, it comes in the 8th chapter, 8th canto, sorry. So Matsya Bhagavan, Satyavrata, Raja Satyavrata, he was glorified. No. Matsya Bhagavan himself is saying to the Satyavrata. Matsyadev is saying, Madiyam mahimanam cha param brahmeti shabditam vetyasya anugrahitam me samprashnair vivrutam hrudi. What he is saying? Madiyam mahimanam. That means my glory. What is that? Parabrahma. That means Brahman. That is known as Brahman. Vesyasi anugrahitam me. That means by the my mercy, you will know the Brahman. So that means what? Just a sadhaka, that means Gnani, by himself he cannot get the Brahman realization. By the devotion, by the mercy of the Lord, only he will get. To get the mercy of the Lord, definitely he could have done the previously bhakti. That's why Gnana sadhana is also dependent on bhakti. He may know, he may not know, but that's why Jnanis, when they do, they might have worshipped the Vishnu also at that time, some other time. They may not accept, or if they don't accept, already we discussed. When we discussed the third canto, Kapila Bhagavan, that means Devahuti Kapila's story in the 30th chapter. What happened to the yogis? So who went to the Brahmaloka? If Brahmaji is a devotee, and then what will happen? And if Brahma is not devotee, then what will happen? And these people also devotee, then what will happen? These people are not devotees, then what will happen? In that context we discussed, if you remember. Yeah. I gave in the exam also, and I explained there very elaborately about these things. So that means what Advaitins, how they think, they have ahankara. What kind of ahankara? So they think that means Lord is not supreme and is not absolute truth. If they have such a ahankara, then what will happen? Then those will be committing offense. So they will not go back. Brahmagnanis, but whoever is thinking that Krishna's form is material, then they are committing towards the Lord, and they will never go back to they will never get the Brahman realization. Yeah, we discussed very long back this. Okay, next. क्या हुआ? तादृश. Next, 7th Anuched. We'll study now. We'll go. Okay. How many of you want to go to home and take rest? Yeah, okay. हाँ? क्या 2 o'clock? नहीं, 4 o'clock तक लेना चाहता हूँ मैं. हाँ, लेकिन एकादशी का क्लास है तो। हाँ हाँ, प्रभु। हाँ, एकादशी छोड़ के संडे ले ले, नहीं संडे नहीं लेने के लिए बोले हैं एक्चुअली, बोल आओ। वो स्टूडेंट्स भी है ना, डिस्टेंस डिस्टेंस स्टूडेंट्स आल्सो देयर। Ekadashi Ekadashi you will be having only 2.5 hours, not the 4 hours. Huh? Okay, what? So I want to take the 4 hours so that I can get 2 more hours extra boost. If you people say then I will take only 1.5 hour. That means already how much hours? Huh? 2 hours, huh? Already, 5 minutes gone and 10 minutes you came late. 15 minutes. Uh, but I want to continue because yes, lot of things in the Ekadashi. Only 2 hours you should manage. Then remaining time anyway you are free. Yeah. Ah, morning class also. Ah, no Bhagavatam class. But the point is online. That's Nairobi. He is from Nairobi and another is from the Middle East. So these people have the difficulty. The Nairobi people. Yeah. 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 11:30 is a good time because Nairobi people, he said that he is having problem with the that means before 11:30 he cannot attend. He is having services and program morning and also this Wapi, another one more student. Now you people are connected with the international students. Huh? Ah, Prabhu? Huh? हाँ, ऐसा कुछ नहीं। हाँ? वापी सुंदर गोपाल। वापी वापी महाराष्ट्र। Online 3 students only. Bhakti Vedanta 3 students itself is a big, big, big batch. Yeah, yeah. Let us see. Okay, it's good to study the 4 hours, and you people may. हाँ, आधा घंटा ब्रेक दूंगा and we will go little, थोड़ा सा actually it will take some time, then I can run. And I have to start the Sanskrit also. I am seeing to make it in the track and then start the Sanskrit also. Yeah. I just asked your opinion, but I decided to take 4 hours. With irrespective of your opinions, 4 hours you should attend. Okay, you will take break half an hour. Then I will start the next Anuched. Okay, 2 o'clock we'll meet back. Thank you very much. तत्र पुरुकारकवान् क्रियार्थो माया परत्येभिमुखे च विलज्जमान तद्वै पदं भगवतः परमस्य पुंसो ब्रह्मेति यद्विदुरजस्रसुखं विशोकम्. So tadrusha avirbhavamaha sardhena. Now we are discussing about the Brahman realization. So which is explained by the Brahmaji. So in 10th canto. So we discussed that. Now the same kind of the Brahman realization, the explanation of Brahman realization we are seeing in the Bhagavatam in another place. That is also explained by Brahmaji only. Yeah. 1.5 sloka. By using the 1.5 sloka, he said, Shashvat prashantam abhayam pratibodha matram. So, okay. So, the meaning of this sloka, I will just read out. second canto, 7 chapter 47, 2 7 47. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. What is realized as the absolute Brahman is full of unlimited bliss without grief. Brahman realization means what? Is full of unlimited bliss without grief. That is certainly the ultimate phase of the supreme enjoyer, the personality of Godhead. He is eternally void of all disturbances and fearless. He is complete consciousness as opposed to matter, uncontaminated and without distinctions. He is the principal perennial cause of all causes and effects, in whom there is no sacrifice for fruitive activities and in whom the illusory energy doesn't stand. Now you tell me the so now I will tell English, then you tell me the Sanskrit in this. Let us see who will answer that. Okay, I will ask Sanskrit, then you tell me English. Pratibodha matram. What is the English? Where is in the translation? Is there or not? I am giving the Sanskrit word in this sloka. Where is in the translation? What is that Brahman? Brahman is Prashantam, Abhayam, Pratibodhamatram, Suddham, Sadasatah Param, Samam, and also Yatra. That means the place where Yatra Shabdaha na Kriyardaha Purukavan, and also so these are the different descriptions we see. So tell me the Abhayam, fearless, and also it is Prashantam, devoid of all disturbances, complete conscious as opposed to matter. What is the Sanskrit for this? Pratibodha matram, uncontaminated, Shuddham, without distinctions, Samam, yes. And next, Sadasatah Param is a perennial cause of all causes and effects. Sadasatah Param. Sat means Sat and Asat means cause and effect. Param means which is beyond the cause and effect. That means which is the cause for all the causes and also all the effects. Next, Sabdah Nayatra Purukarakavan Kriyartho. What is the English for this? No. In whom there is no sacrifice for fruitive activities. This is. In whom there is no sacrifice for fruitive activities. Yeah. Yes. Next, Brahmeti yad viduhu ajasra sukam vishokam. Like this. Now, this is the place Brahmaji is saying about the Brahman. Now we'll see the explanation of this quickly. Ayam ardaha sarvataha Brumhattamat Brumhatmat Brumhattamatvad Brumhattamatvad. Sorry, Bruhattamatvad. So Sarvata, where is our Prabhuji? Baba? Baba left. Somebody. ये आ रहे कब स्नान करते हमको पता नहीं चलते. बृहत्तमत्वाद ब्रह्मेति यद विदुः तत्कलु परमस्य पुंसः भगवतः पदमेवा. So this Brahman is nothing but what? This Brahman is nothing but the Bhagavatah Padam. Bhagavatah Padam means what is given here? Abode. Sanskrit words are very difficult to translate into English because they have some special meaning. Here, Brahman is nothing but the glory of the Lord, or otherwise Bhagavatah Padam. Babaji, what Mataji he gave? Bhagavatah Padam means Brahman is Bhagavatah Padam. Huh? No. What is that? Pedestrian? What is the pede? So no. Where you are actually? Ah. Is the pedestal of the Supreme Person. Pedestal means? Huh? Sandarbha Prabhu, you know? Pedestal of the Supreme. Pedals. Cycle pedals. Otherwise, you can say it's a feature of the Bhagavan. Brahman is also feature of the Bhagavan. But nirvikalpataya sakshat krutehe pradhamikatvat. Huh? Kursi. Oh, okay. Baitak. Like the sitting place. Huh? Sitting place. Yeah, it is a sitting place of asan. Yes. Yeah. It's abode. Abode also sitting place. That is different, Mataji. Okay, leave it. So it is a sitting place of Bhagavan. Why? Nirvikalpataya sakshat krutehe pradhamikatvat. Is the sitting place, or otherwise you can say it is the initial phase of the Bhagavan. You can say it is the initial phase of Bhagavan. So, like when you see any object, according to the Nyaya and also other darshanas, when you see the object, first you will get the Nirvikalpa Gnanam of that object, then after that Savikalpa Gnanam of that object. For example, one more example I will give. When you see a light, glowing light, first you will see the prakasha. That means the light which is coming from that bulb. When you see a bulb, first what you will see? You will be seeing the light, and after that, in that light you will be seeing the bulb. Even if you see more closely, then what you will be seeing? You will be seeing the filament. Tungsten light if you take, that means inside of the tungsten bulb, you will be seeing the filament. You know filament? Yeah. So like this, when you see Bhagavan,
first what you will be seeing? The light, that is Brahman. That is known as pedestal of Bhagavan, means that is understanding actually. That's a basic initial phase of the Bhagavan. Initial phase of the Bhagavan is known as Brahman. Then after that you go and closely see. Then what you will see? You will be seeing the sun globe. When you see, just you closed your eyes and you are sleeping in the home. Morning you slept, maybe night you slept, but till 11 o'clock you didn't wake up. So just you closed your eyes, you came out from your room. Then first what you will be seeing? That means the sun shine. And then if you go even little outside, if you see, then sun globe. And even if you see more closely, then sun planet and sun god also you can see. Okay, like this. Even in, that is a mechanism. We don't observe so much, but even if in the day-to-day life also, when you see any object, first you will realize this object without any features. Then after that, that means when you see the first second, what happens? Second what happens? Third second, what happens? That if you analyze, in the first second itself, you will be seeing this object without any features. That is known as Nirvikalpa Gnanam of this object. Something is there, first you will realize. Then after that, oh, this is pen. And then, oh, it is having the black cap. And it is having the white body. Like this, all the different features, you keep on realizing. Yeah. Yeah. Not only distance, any object if you see in the day-to-day life also, the philosophy is first we realize that object without any attributes. Yes, yes. In the next seconds what happens? That is there in the Nyaya Siddhanta Muktavali. So next, what is said here? Brahmanascha Bhagavataha Veva Nirvikalpa Satta Rupatvad Vichitra Rupadi Vikalpa Vishesha Vishistasya Bhagavatah Sakshat Krutehe Tadantarajatvat Tadiyaswarupa Bhutam Tad Brahma Tat Sakshatkaraspadaṁ Bhavati Ityarthaha. Actually, Bhagavan is what? Vichitra Rupadi Vikalpa Vishesha Vishishtaha. There are so many qualities are there in the Bhagavan. But Sakshat Krutehe Tad Antarajatvat Tadiya Swarupa Bhutam Tad Brahma Tat Sakshatkaraspadaṁ Bhavati. But what is happening? In the case of the Jnanis, they will be seeing this Brahman without these features. So that's why, so they realize Nirvikalpa Satta Rupatva. That means just they realize without any attributes, and that is known as Brahman. Same thing. That means we are just, this sloka we are discussing to support our previous explanation. Brahman realization is also explained in the another place of Bhagavatam. That is the point we are discussing now. Next what? Nirvikalpa Brahmanaha Tasya Swarupa Lakshanam Aha. Then what is the Swarupa Lakshanam of the Nirvikalpa Brahma? That means what is the Swarupa Lakshanam of the Brahman? What is the Swarupa Lakshanam of the Bhagavan? What is said in the first sloka of the Bhagavatam? In this, what is the Swarupa Lakshanam and what is the Tadastha Lakshanam? What is Swarupa Lakshanam and what is Tadastha Lakshanam in that? What is Swarupa Lakshanam of the Bhakti? What is the Tadastha Lakshanam of the Bhakti? What is the Tadas Lakshana of the Bhakti? Sandeep Prabhu, you were there? No? Diendatri Mataji, what is the Tadas Lakshana? Sambal Prabhu. Yaya sarvamavapyate, by which everything can be attained. So by which everything is attained. ऐसा नहीं बोले आप, कुछ और भी गड़बड़ बोले. अकाम सर्व कामो, this is the Tadasa Lakshana of the Bhakti. ओए So from the Bhagavatam we are understanding Janmadyasya Yataha. So in this Janmadyasya Yataha, what is the Tatasa Lakshanam, what is the Sarupa Lakshanam of the Bhagavan? I already explained previously. Sarupa Lakshanam of the Bhagavan is Satyam. That means, Param. Yeah, Satyam Param Dhimahi. Yes, so this is a Param Dhimahi. Param means Satyam Param. That means which is eternal, which is superior. This is the Swarupa of the Bhagavan. And what is the Tadasa Lakshanam? Janmadi Yasya. Janmadi Asya. That means Janmadyasya. Yeah, by whom the creation, maintenance and destruction of this material world happens. This is known as Tadastha Lakshanam. By the Bhagavan, so this everything is happening. So it is a Tadastha Lakshanam. It is not Swarupa. So similarly, what is the Swarupa Lakshanam of the Brahman? Swarupa Lakshanam of the Bhagavan we have seen. Here, Brahman is said here. Prashantam abhayam pratibodhamatram shuddham samam sadasatah param. All these Swarupa Lakshanam of the Brahman. Then each one will see. What is the pratibodhamatram? First what it is said? Pratibodhamatram. What is the English translation for this? I just know I said, na? Unadulterated consciousness. Huh? Unadulterated. Mataji, translate into German language. In the Prabhupada purport, what we translation, what we learned, uncontaminated. No, this only, no? He is a complete consciousness as opposite to matter. This one, na? That is a new word for the Adukshas Prabhu. That's why he is laughing. Really? Unadulterated means uncontaminated. Hai na, Prabhu? That is also one meaning. Yeah. So, uncontaminated. So now see, the one, each one will see. The Swarupa Lakshana of the Brahman we are discussing. अरे मेरा पेजेस गड़बड़ हो गया. कैसा है? Okay, I got now. Pratibodhamatram iti ajasrasukam. Pratibodhamatram ajasrasukam. Actually, these two are the, sorry, actually, only two are the Swarup Lakshanam. What is that? One is the Pratibodhamatram, second is Ajasrasukam. Pratibodhamatram, I will explain, and also Ajasrasukam, that is also I will explain. Ajasra Sukam is there or not in the sloka? Last word. Yad viduhu Ajasra Sukam. Ajasra Sukam is also Swarupa Lakshanam. And third word, Pratibodha Matram. Pratibodha Matram means, English translation, a consciousness opposed to the material counterpart. That means Chin Matram. See, matter, and what is opposite to this? Chit, spirit. But this spirit is also having so many other features. We are not considering that. The spirit which is simply opposite to the matter, that is known as Pratibodha Matram. Try to understand. A consciousness opposed to the matter, that is known as Pratibodha Matram. The opposite to the matter is what? Opposite to matter is what? Spirit. That means That means the consciousness which is opposed to the material counterpart, that is known as Pratibodha Matram. Chit. Chit Matram. Chit is also having so many features, but we are not taking that. But Chit, that is a common. Like you have the red pot, blue pot, green pot, yellow pot. If I say red pot, you will pick up one. If you say blue pot, you will pick up another one. And if I say pot, then what is there in all these four? Potness. The potness is common. Is the common. That is known as potness matram. That is the visheshya. Potness matram is what? Visheshya. And red, green, blue, these are all the visheshnas. Like that, Chin matram means Chit. Spiritual world is having this spiritual cow, spiritual mountain, spiritual tree, spiritual gopas, gopis, so many. Then what is the common? Chit matram. So that is known as Visheshya. And that is added with the Visheshnas, then it will be having the different manifestations. Okay? That's why Chin Matram, Pratibodha Matram, Ananda Matram. Matram you are using means that is base, that is a Visheshya. That is which is common to everyone. Yeah. We don't say here Chit, we have Chit Matram. Chit Matra means just it is a counterpart to the matter. Okay, that is the Swarupa Lakshanam of the Brahman. Pratibodha Matram or the Chit Matram is the Swarupa Lakshana. And also one more point is what? Ajasra Sukam. What is the English translation for the Ajasra Sukam? Unlimited happiness. It is also Swarupa Lakshanam. Jadasya dukkasya cha pratiyogita pratiyate yadvastu yaccha nityam tadheka rupam tadrupam ityartha. Means what? Brahman is nothing but the simply opposite to the matter and dukkha. What is the Swarupa Lakshana you said? It is the Pratibodha Matram and Ajasra Sukham. Means it is counterpart, it is the opposite to, by Pratibodha Matra you should take what? It is opposite to matter. And Ajasra Sukham means it is opposite to Dukkham. The just simply negation of the Sukham Dukkham is known as Brahman. And but it is having this so much, that means on the top of that, so many other qualities, Visheshnas are there. That we are not going to discuss. The simple negation of the, or opposite to the matter, and the opposite to the opposite particle of matter and the Dukkham is known as Brahman. This is. That means if you take matter as a 0, and what is the opposite? 1. But actually unlimited, but simply opposite 1 is what? No, 1. 1. 1 is the simply opposite. That's the beginning. But even 2 also opposite to the 2, to the 0. But simply opposite is 1. In the same way, Brahman is a simple opposite to the Dukkham and Jada, matter. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. That's just starting of Sukham. Basic, beginning. And closing, that means finishing of matter. Just starting of spirit. That means he is elaborating. Brahmaji said only, directly he said. Brahmaji said that it is a consciousness, and also it is Ajasra Sukham. But Brahmaji, what he used, he didn't say Pratibodham, that means consciousness, Chit. He didn't say simply Chit. Pratibodha Matram. The word Matram he used. Pratibodha Matram. That's why you should consider the word Matram. Pratibodham, if he said, then that is a consciousness. That is the consciousness of the Lord also. Bhagavat Gnanam also, it is also opposite to the matter. But we are not taking all those. But simply negation to the Jada. Pratibodha Matram. The consciousness which is opposite to the material counterpart. Yes. Yes. Or otherwise, consciousness opposite to the material counterpart. And Ajasra Sukham. This you people already learned, na? Second canto, 7th chapter. Adaksh Prabhu, you are saying? Yes. Shall I read back English? A consciousness opposed to the material counterpart. Is the proper translated like this. Pratibodha Matram means a consciousness opposed to the material counterpart. To the matter. Yeah. Yes. No. Yeah. Explain Mataji thoda sa. No, no, no. Here counterpart means how to explain in the mm, i- copy. Huh? Copy. Uh, it is opposite. That means Brahman is opposite to the material matter. Simple language means is opposite to the matter. That is the best easy translation if you want. That is, it is opposite to the matter. Clear. Like I said, na, if you take matter as 0, so opposite to 0 is the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up to infinity. But 1 is the simple opposite to the 0. Yeah. 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 You want pen? Uh, yes. Uh, no, no, no. Counterpart means copy. Actually, here yeah, here counterpart you cannot take the as opposite. This is not the opposite actually. Here he is saying material counterpart means material copy. That means materially. That means simply it is material only. Material counterpart and material is equal to one. Is same. Is one block. Okay. Material counterpart means one block of the matter. So Brahman is the opposite to the part. That means one part of the material. Yeah, opposite to material. Mm, a consciousness opposed to the material counterpart. Now, ajasra sukham jadasya dukkasya cha pratiyogita pratiyete yadvastu yaccha nityam tadeka rupam tadrupam ityardaha. Yada atmatattvam sarveshatmanam moolam. What is said one more thing? Paramatma tattvam. There is a one more word. Means Paramatma Tattva means Sarvesham Atmana Moolam. It is the shelter for the all the Atmas. That is known as Paramatma Tattvam. Atma hi Swaprakasha Rupataya Nirupadi Parama Premaspadatayam cha tad rupena pratiyate ityardaha. So here Atma means Nirupadi Parama Premaspadatayam cha tat rupena pratiyate ityardaha. Atha tasya sukharupasya ajasratve hetumaha. Okay, we'll go further. This line is a simple line. That means Atma is nothing but the Prema, so Prema Rupam. That is, leave it. Now the point is, what is the fundamental definition we give for the Brahman? Is Pratibodha Matram and also it is Ajasra Sukham. These are the two definitions, are the Swarupa Lakshanam of the Brahman. Now we are saying Brahman is the Sukham. It is the unlimited happiness. What is the reason for this? Why Brahman is unlimitedly happy? Why Brahman is a happiness, happy counterpart? How can you say it is a happy, blissful? How can you say Brahman is blissful? What is the reason? Tasya sukarupasya ajasratve hetumaha. So, Because Brahman is unlimitedly blissful. This is the meaning of Ajasra Sukham. So why? Why Brahman is blissful? Because Shashvat. Answer itself is given in that Brahmaji himself gave in the sloka. Because Shashvat Prashantam Nityameva Kshoba Tad Ubhayam, that means Tadvad Abhayam, that means Bhayasunyam Vishokam Soka Rahitam Cha Iti. There are the reasons are given. Why Brahman is supremely blissful, unlimitedly blissful? Because it is Shashvat Prashantam. That means Shashvat Prashantam means always is without any disturbance. Prashantam means Kshoba Rahitam. Kshoba means there is no disturbances. Who will be happy? Whoever is peaceful, he will be happy. Yes or no? Even in the material world also, where the happiness exists, where there is peace. Yeah. Peaceful person will be automatically happy. You cannot. So that's why the reason is it is Kshoba Rahitam. It is Prashantam. That's why it is blissful. That means there are no changes or there are no disturbances. But in this material world, how it is? What is the Swarupa Lakshana of the material world? Just opposite to this. Apratibodha matram dukkha ajasra dukkham. That means in this material world, it is completely is miserable and also it is jada. Just opposite to these two features is nothing but Brahman. But Bhagavan is even further more. Bahut it is that is so many other features are there. But just opposite of this matter is, and also just opposite of the miseries, dukkham, is known as Brahman. And in that Brahman there is no disturbance. There is no kshoba. That's why it is blissful. But in this material world, all the time there are so many disturbances. So that's why so much miseries here. So many miseries. Because these three gunas, all the time they are changing. By the factor of time, by the influence of time, so this matter is always changing. And that is causing the disturbances. And that is the cause for the miseries. And that's why there are no changes. That's why there is no fear. If there are changes, then there is definitely fear. You became now the ordinary man, you became the millionaire just tomorrow. That change came. Then you got the one trunk of gold. Then what will happen? That change will bring in you fear. Huh? That will bring fear in you. Yes or no? The same way. But in this Brahman, there is no change. That's why there is no fear. That means bhaya sunyam. Abhayam. That means bhaya sunyam. This is the one more. First what? It is Shashvat Prashantam. That means it is always constant. It is constant, always constant. And that's why, and also there is no fear. And also there is no shokam. Vishokam is also said, na? That means shoka rahitam. These are the reasons to become Brahman blissful. Next. Nacha sukarupatve tasya punyajanyatvam syadi ityaha. So that means Brahman means is a sukamayam, it's a blissful. So how to get that Sukham? Brahmaji is saying, one may ask, can we get that Sukham by performing the yajnas? In this material world, there are also many different kinds of the pleasures are there. Like in the heavenly planet also there is a pleasure. How to get that pleasure? How to get the pleasure in the heavenly planet? By the karma kanda. By performing the yajnas. Yeah. Yajayata sarga kama. So by performing the yajnas, that means by following the Vedas which are meant for the satisfying the Indra. So by that you will get. So like that can we get Brahmans, the Sukham which is there in the Brahman also? No. That is said. Shabdaha na yatra purukarakavan kriyardho. Means by following the yajnas prescribed in the Vedas, you cannot get this. Shabdaha na yatra. That means Karma Kanda Vedas are not having any place to get this. Then how to get? Yatra kriyardo yagnardaha purukarakavan shabdaha na pravartate. Bhakti Sandarbha is so enjoyable actually. I relish Bhakti Sandarbha. But this Bhagavat Sandarbha is so Adaksh Prabhu, it's boring, na? Bhagavat Sandarbha. It's so logical. भक्ति संदर्भ में बहुत मजा है सच में. ओ बाप रे, परमा संदर्भ और भी इतना too logic, too this that. And if you read this Sarva Samvadini of this, we have to break our head. So logic, so. I like Bhakti Sandarbha. Yeah. So that means Brahmaji is clarifying this. He said first he defined what is Brahman, and also he said this is blissful. That means there is a lot of pleasure in that. And also he said that this pleasure is not achieved by the karma kanda. That means the Veda which is describing about the karma, by that you cannot get this. Kintu, then how to get? Upanishadaha purushaha. In the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, it is saying, Aupanishadaha purushaha ityadi ritya kevalam upanishadeva prakashika bhavati. Then how to see that pleasure, how to get that pleasure which is there in the Brahman? By the Upanishad. That means by the section of Karma Kanda in the Vedas you will not get, but the section of the Upanishad in the Vedas you will get this. That is the point he wants to mention. Punaha swasukha rupatve cha indriyajanyatvam vyavartayati. So how this pleasure is derived? The Brahma Sukham, that means now if you take a laddu, there is Sukham or not in this? Is there? How to derive that Sukham? Just by senses. You engage your senses to release the Sukham, to bring out the Sukham which is there in that laddu. So like this, now Brahman is there and there is a Sukham. How to derive this? Is it possible by the senses? No. Wait, that is the point is said here. Punaha swasukha rupatve cha indriyajanyatvam. Indriyajanyatvam, that means it cannot be tasted by the senses. It cannot be derived by the senses. How can you say? it is said that Shuddham, Brahmaji is saying, this Brahma Sukham, that's Brahmanandam, is nothing but Shuddham. Shuddham means it cannot be derived by the senses, material senses. Tatra Suddham Dosharahitam Samam Uchavachata Sunyam. And also it is what? Samam. That means, like Prithu Maharaj, what he did? He leveled the earth. Samam. So like this, Brahma Sukham, there are no ups and downs. It's level, one level only it is. Yes. It's one level, it's equal, it's a samam. There are no ups and downs. Yeah. Bhagavat Sukham is like this. Bhagavat Sukham. It is increasing. It is always increasing. See, the curve is like this. Like this. As the time increases, and the Sukham is also is increasing. It's like this shape. Linear curve. Mx, y is equal to mx. But what about this Brahma Sukham? Is y is equal to c. C means constant. Y is equal to c. All the time it is equal. No change. But Bhagavad Anandam always changes. In which direction? In increasing direction. Not in the decreasing. Huh? Y is equal to c is the Brahma Sukham. Y is equal to mx is the Bhagavat Sukham. Write it, Mataji. Please write it. Why you are not writing? Which? Yes. Y is equal to c. You know na maths, you know na, y is equal to c. Adarsh Prabhu, you know y is equal to c curve. Y is equal to c. I will explain this. I like. Huh? You know. Dendatri Mata, you might be knowing. Radharani Mataji is 12th pass. She knows everything. See, this is the x-axis, and this is the y-axis. So, as the axis progress, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That means you can take x is equal to time also sometimes. As time progresses, what will be happening? The Bhagavat Sukham, it is also increasing like this. Here 1, 2, 3, 4 units, 5 units. At the first time you will get 1 unit of Sukham. In the second minute you will be getting 2 units. Third minute you will be getting 3 units. Like that 4 units, 5 units. So then what is this? So Bhagavat Sukham is always increasing. This is what? Y is equal to this y. Bhagavat Sukham is equal to mx. Is a slope, and the x is equal to this t. And what is the Bhagavat Sukham? Sorry, Brahma Sukham. Like this. That means y is equal to c. Even time increases, but there is no increase in the pleasure. All the time like this. Y is equal to c. This is the curve. Okay? Mx means slope.
The rate of the growing. M means the rate of increasing. X is equal to T, time. What is that? Samam is clear. Ucha avachata sunyam. Next, sadasatah param. What is that? Next is said. Sadasatah. Sat means cause. Asat means effect. Param means which is beyond the cause and effect, or otherwise which is the cause for the all the causes and also all the effects. Like that also you can take. Karana karya vargad uparisthitam. It is beyond the, that means if you see Prakriti, Pradhana, Mahat, Ahankara, Panch Tanmatra, Panch Gnanendriya, Panch Karmendriya, Man, all these. One is cause, effect, cause, effect, cause, effect. In this material world. But Brahman is what? It is beyond the cause and effect. Kim Bahuna? What else? You tell me even more about this Brahman. Yes, I will tell. Maya cha yasya abhimuke yad unmukhataya stite jivan mukta gane vilajjamane va paraiti palayate tataha duram gacchati ityartaha. Wherever these Brahmanandis are there what Maya will do? Maya immediately go away from that place. There is a one more. That means the possessors of this Brahmanandam, that means Jivan Muktas, that means Brahmanandis, wherever they stay, immediately Maya will ran away from that. Sri Brahmanaradam. Like this, Brahmaji explained about the Brahman to the Narada. In the second canto, 7th chapter, 47th sloka. Now we'll go to the next. Vyanjate Bhagavat Tatve Brahmacha Vyajyate Swayam Ataha Atra Brahma Sandarbho Api Ava Antarataya Mataha. No, it's last point in this Anuched. If you understand Bhagavan, then you can automatically understand the Brahman also. So that's why here, because you see, that is the basic, what we said, what we understood, Brahman is nothing but the pedestrian, what is that word? Pedestal. Pedestal of Bhagavan means the initial phase of the Bhagavan realization. That means when you see a light, bulb, glowing bulb, you will be see first the light which is coming, the prakasha. Then after that bulb inside. Then if you see even close eyes, then the filament, tungsten filament also. The same way, since Brahman is the initial stage of the realizing of Bhagavan, so that's why by understanding Bhagavan, that's why in understanding or in realizing Bhagavan is Brahman also included. That's why we are not going to discuss so much about this. If you understand Bhagavan realization, automatically you can understand also the Brahman realization also. And these two chapters, whatever, that means the Yogyata, we studied from the Brahmaji's teachings or Brahmaji's prayers to the Supreme Lord. That is the 10th canto, 14th chapter. And also we have seen the Swarupa Lakshana of the Brahman by the Brahmaji's explanation to the Narada. This is the, this much chapters are known as, also you can say it as Brahma Sandarbha. This is Brahma Sandarbha. These two Anuchedas, 2-3 Anuchedas. 2-3 Anuchedas. Yes, Prabhu, what is the question? Yes. To understand Bhagavan, you have to understand Brahman. That is not the meaning. That understand.
Yeah, yeah. Then only he can understand Bhagavan. It does not mean. It doesn't mean like that. Yeah. Because in the next place you will see Bhagavan realization you can realize directly, and it doesn't dependent on the realization of Brahman. So that's why. But Brahman realization can be said as the initial stage of the realizing of Bhagavan. But you cannot, but the reverse we cannot say. That means after realizing the Brahman only you can realize Bhagavan. It doesn't mean that the after realizing the Brahman only one can realize Bhagavan. Yeah. 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 Hmm. 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 But the Mayavadis, what is then what is the Brahman according to them, and what is the Paramatma? लेकिन मायावादी ऐसा नहीं बोल सकते ना, they cannot say like this. Bhagavan is ABCD for them, and the Brahman is the Jad. Uh, they accept Bhagavan as also is Upadika. That means Mayavachinna is Chaitanyam. That is. So that's why Bhagavan is not at all our concept. Their concept is not equal to our concept. They don't accept at all Bhagavan. So there is no point of this kind of argument, because they cannot say. So they according to them, Brahman relation itself is the highest, and they ask, they think that that is itself is the highest realization. So then after that there is no nothing to realize further, Parantatvam or nothing. No. Yeah. Prabhu? Y is equal to C. Yes. Not Y is equal to MX. Yeah. Next. 8th Anuched. Atha Sri Bhagavad Avirbhave Yogyatamaha. Now we will see the what is the qualification, or what is the requirement to realize the Bhagavan. How to realize the Bhagavan. And till now we have seen what is the requirement for the realizing the Brahman. Now Bhagavan, Bhakti yoge namanasi samyak pranihite male apashyat purusham purnam mayam cha tadapashrayam. Who saw the Bhagavan in the Bhagavatam? Vasudev. By went to Samadhi. Bhakti yogena. By what process he saw? By the process of Bhakti yoga. By what he saw? Where he saw that Bhagavan? Manasi. In the heart. Samyak pranahite male. When the heart is completely pure. Completely it is cleaned. Cleaning means not the cleaning like the Gnanis. They also made the heart. How they made the heart? They made the heart very hard, so that there is no reaction in that. That's why Gnanis are very hard-hearted people. They are dry and very strong. Strong stone. There is no change. Their heart is like that. It's a, yeah. I don't know. They don't laugh. I don't know. So now these people's heart is how? It is completely vidyate. So what is that? Hrudyantasto hyabhadrani vidunoti suhrus satam. All the contamination is cleaned in this. That means it is, that means evam prasanna manaso Bhagavat. Bhagavad Bhakti Yogatah Bhagavat Tattva Vijnanam Mukta Sangasya Jayate. Where Lord will appear, Bhagavat Tattva Vijnanam means the experience of the Lord. Where it will, Sutta Goswami is saying, where it will happen? Ah, yeah. Evam prasanna manaso. That means when one does the kirtan, chanting Sravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, so then the contamination of the heart, the impurities of the heart will be cleaned by the Lord Himself. Then He will be coming to the stage of the Visuddha Sattvamayam. नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भक्त्युत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी तदा रजस्तमो भावः कामलोभादयश्च ये चेतयेतैरनाविद्धं स्थितं सत्त्वे प्रसीदति. What will happen when they will do the Naishtiki Bhakti? Then Rajas, Tamas, everything will be, and Kama, Lobhadaya, everything will be cleaned. Everything will be out. Then Sthitam Sattve Prasidati. Then he will be situated. His heart is situated in the pure goodness. Pure goodness means it is not material goodness. It is the spiritual goodness. That means Visuddha Sattvam. अमोघ प्रभु आप माइक ऑफ करिए. Then what will happen? Then he will become very blissful. When his heart is completely situated in the pure goodness, he will be very peaceful. Then Bhagavat Tattva Vijnanam Mukta Sangasya Jayate. Then he will experience the Lord. That means Lord will come and sit in the place where it is clean. Not that he will sit anywhere. If it is having so much impurities, that means Kama, Krodha, all are sitting in the heart, he will come and sit. No? Yeah. He will come where place is clean. Then then we studied in the previous sloka, what we studied? Hrudyantasto hyabhadrani vidunoti surutam. Srunvatam swagatam Krishna punya shravana kirtana. Hrudyantasto hyabhadrani vidunoti suhrussatam. But in this previously we saw Krishna himself is entering in the heart and he is cleaning. And now you are saying Krishna will sit in the only pure place. Then how it is? No. No. Huh? Bhava Rupa. When he is cleaning, he is coming in the form of Bhava. Not directly Krishna is coming. Bhava Rupa Krishna is coming. Bhava Rupa Krishna Bhava. Bhav. Bhavana. Bhavana Rupa. Consciousness. In the form of consciousness, he will clean. Directly, he is not coming. We are in the process of the cleaning. Sadhakas. When it is cleaned, then you will be in the Nishtha. Nishtha Bhakti. And after that, Ruchi. Asakti. Bhava. And Prem. Before that, we have contamination. Okay. Bhakti yogena manasi. When the heart is clean, then he will appear. Krishna will appear there. So Vasudev heart is completely clean, pure. When he went to the Samadhi, And when he meditated on the Leelas, pastimes of the Krishna, then what he saw? After hearing from the Narada, he went back to the river Yamuna. What is that? Saraswati. Huh? Saraswati, river Saraswati. And he sit peacefully and he meditated on his Guru Narada. And finally, he, according to his instructions, so based upon his instructions, he went to Samadhi. And what he saw in that Bhakti Yoga Samadhi, he saw the Krishna and also he saw Maya and Jivatma. And there he saw different Leelas. All the Leelas, and then he write. And then Ganapati is sitting in the front of him and he started dictating. Write it, whatever I say. He started writing. So that's why, what is the qualification for the realization of the Bhagavan? Pure heart. So, see, everything, our Acharya is Brahmaji. Huh? So, Brahman realization also he only explained in two places. And Bhagavan realization also, so once again Brahmaji is explaining here. Tadittam Brahmana cha Vuktam. Brahmaji also saw Bhagavan directly. When he saw second canto, when he did the tapas. In the 9th chapter, you remember, I only taught that. Once upon a time, I was the... yeah. When he did the, that means heard the words tapa, so then he did meditation, that means he did the tapasya, then Lord appeared. Lord appeared to him and he showed his Vaikuntha also. You all remember? Yes. Yeah, there, and also Brahmaji himself also is praying. When he was praying to the Garbhodaka Sai Vishnu, in that time also, what Brahmaji is saying? Brahmaji is saying, Lord appears in where he appears? Tvam bhakti yoga paribhavita hutsaroja ase srute kshita pato nanunata pumsam. Thank you. I forget. I don't revise, that's why. So what Brahmaji is saying there, how about Brahman realization he said about Brahman realization in the prayers of Bhagavan directly in the Brahma Mohan Leela. And here Brahmaji is praying to whom? In the 3rd canto? Garbhodaka Sai Vishnu. What he is praying? Tvam, you. Tvam bhava yoga not bhava yoga. Tvam bhakti yoga paribhavita hrutsaroje ase shruti kshita patho nanunatha pumsam. Where you come, my dear Lord? Brahmaji is saying, my dear Lord, you appear in the heart of devotees and whose heart is engaged in devotional service. Bhakti yoga paribhavita hrut saroje. When the heart is engaged in the service of the Lord, in that lotus heart, you appear. This is the yogyata. This is the qualification. See how much difference is there from the Jnanis and Bhaktas. One is making the heart hard and another is making very soft. Because Lord has to come and sit, na? It should be very smooth and soft. Like the Raja Bhumi, this land,
is so smooth, so that Lord can easily walk. Similarly, heart should be very soft. Otherwise, it will be hurting to him. Asye srutikshita patho nanunatha pumsam. What is this Shruti? Shruta ikshita? Ikshita patha. Yeah, through the ears. These people, they are, that means those devotees, Shruta ikshita pada means they follow the path given by the Shruti. That means these devotees, they follow the path given by the Shruti. What is the commentary? Actually, I should see the commentary, then I can explain. Commentary is not there here. Is there with anyone? Shruta ikshita patha means, why my book is jumping to another? Ninth one, na? Wait, wait. My points ही गया already. बाबा, क्या बोले? बाबा, हाँ बोलिए प्रभु. The way, माने? हाँ. Ah, yes, yes. Govinda. Ah. Okay. Every acharya is having their own explanation. Jiva Goswami is giving in another way, and our Rasikacharya, what he is giving. Our Rasikacharya is saying, one second, I don't want to waste your time, just I got some. Vaito, कहाँ जा रहा है? Shruta ikshita patha, he is taking to the next line actually, that is. And what is the next line of this sloka? This sloka, so Krishna will come in the heart of the devotees whose hearts are engaged in the service of the Lord. And Shruta asya srutekshita pata nanunata pumsam yad dhiya ta urugaya vibhavayanti tattad vapuhu pranaye
pranayase sadanugrahaya. Means Krishna is also appearing in this heart in which form? Whatever the form this devotee desires, in that form he will appear in that heart. Why? Sadanugrahaya. For the giving mercy, for blessing the devotees. So he comes in the desired form. And this form is what? Is speculated form? These devotees, they speculate by themselves? No. Sruta means Vaidika. Here Jiva Goswami is saying that. So Shruta ikshita pataha te purvoktaha. So Shrutena eva labdena buddhi visheshena. That means Bhagavat Pratipadika Veda Vaidika Shastra Vichara Sravanam. That means the way they hear from the standard scriptures, that form only, that means they hear about him in the way which, in that way which is prescribed by or which is suggested by the Vedas, Shastras. And that means they will assume the form which is given in the Shastras. They cannot speculate any form. No. That is the point. Shruti ekshita pataha. That means who heard about the Krishna from the Vedic scriptures, that person so will get the appearance of the Lord. Okay, now our main discussion is what? We have to focus on mainly the qualification for the getting appearance of Bhagavan is the Bhakti Paribhavita Hrudayam. Next, 10th Anuched. Tada avirbhavamaha sardhaihi dashabihi. So now, qualification we understood. Then how he appears, when he appears in the heart of the devotee, so then how he appears, in the what form? Or what is that form? What is the description of that? Tell me. Then where you can see this? 2nd canto, 9th chapter. Tasmai swalokam bhagavan sabhajita sandarshayamasa param nayat param vyapeta sanklesha vimoha sadvasam swadruštavadbihi purushairabhishtutam. You people, you got in your book continuously the slokas, or otherwise sloka and the explanation, sloka explanation continuously, na? Pravartate yatra rajastamastayoh sattvam cha mishram na cha kala vikramaha na yatra maya kimuta pare harer anuvrata yatra sura surarchitaha shama vadata shatapatra lochana pishanga vastra surucha supeshasaha sarve chaturbhava unmanishanmani praveka nishkabharana suvarchasaha pravala vaidurya mrunala varchasaha परिस्फुरत् कुंडल मौलि मालिनः ब्राजिष्णुभिर्यः परितो विराजते लसद्विमानवलिभिर्महात्मनां विद्योतमानः प्रमदोत्तमाद्युभिः सविद्युदभ्रावलिभिर्यथा नभः श्रीर्यत्र रूपिण्युरुगाय पादयो करोति मानं बहुधा विबुधीतिभिः प्रेङ्कं श्रिताया कुसुमाकरानुगैर्विगीयमाना प्रियकर्म गीयते ददर्श तत्
तत्राखिल सात्वतां पतिं श्रियः पतिं यज्ञपतिं जगत्पतिं सुनन्दनन्दप्रवलार्हणादिभिः स्वपार्षदाग्रैः परिसेवितं विभुं भृत्यप्रसादं विमुखसृगासवं प्रसन्नः सारुणलोचनाननं किरीटिनं कुण्डलिनं चतुर्भुजं पीतांशुकं वक्षसि लक्षितं श्रिया अद्यर्हणीयासनमास्थितं परं वृतं चतुष्षोडश पञ्चशक्तिभिः युतं भगैस्वैर्यतरत्र चाद्रुवैः स्वयेव धामन् रममाणमीश्वरम्. ओ तद्दर्शनाह्लादपरितप्लुतान्तरो हृष्यत्तनुः प्रेमभराश्रुलोचनः ननामपादाम्बुजमस्य विश्वसृग् यत्पारमहंस्येन पथाधिगम्यते तं प्रियमाणं सुखमपस्थितं कविं प्रजाविसर्गे निजशासनार्हणं बबास ईशिस्मितचोषिषा गिरा प्रियः प्रियं प्रीतमनः करे स्पृशन्. Handshake, caress person. He gave the finally handshake. Okay, you all know the meanings of this. Tasmai, the first sloka. Tasmai swalokam Bhagavan sabhajita sandarsayamasa param nayat param. So Brahmaji is saying, Brahmaji is who is contest is Sukadeva Goswami is explaining. Na, this is to the Parishit Maharaj. So what happened to Brahmaji? Means Brahmaji did the tapasya. So Brahmaji did the tapasya when he heard the word tapa. So then after that Lord appeared, and Lord what he did? That means Lord was very nicely worshipped by the Brahmaji. That means sabhajitaha. That means Bhagavan is very much worshipped by the Lord. Sorry, Bhagavan is worshipped by the Brahmaji. So then he became happy. Then what he did, Bhagavan? Tasmai, that means to the Brahmaji, Swalokam, his own abode, that means Vaikunta, Darshayamasa, he showed. So Lord showed his Vaikunta to the Brahmaji. How it is? Vyapeta Sanklesha Vimoha Sadvasam. It is free from all the kinds of kleshas. Miseries are kleshas. How many kleshas we have? What are those? No, not those. वाह, इतना कॉन्फिडेंटली बोलते हैं. देख के बोलिए. Five kleshas: avidya, asmita, raga, dvesha, abhinivesh. There are the pancha kleshas according to the Patanjali. माता जी आप लिखते हैं लेकिन पढ़ते नहीं लग रहे हैं कभी भी. You have, Mata ji, you should have one more habit. You are good in the writing. You should be good in the reading back also, revising. Mataji, you give your book to him, he will type it and edit it. He is the editor. You write his name also in that down. Our Dhritatma is the editor and you are the author. You do. He will teach from that book. Oh my God. And Anuched Prabhu will be the student once again. क्या करे अभी. Okay. So we'll go each one by one sloka because this all these 10 and a half slokas are explaining about the appearance of the Lord and his abode. How that abode is appearing, how the Lord and what are things are there in that abode, that means in the Vaikuntha, what are not there, everything is explained here. It's a big Anucheda, one of the biggest Anucheda in the whole Sandarbha. This is the biggest Anucheda. Tasmai, that means Bhagavad Agna Puraskarena Sri Narayanahvaya Purushanabi Pankaje Stitvaiva Tattoshanaihi Tapobihi Bhajate Brahmane Sabhajita Hatena Bhajanena Vasikruta San Solokam Vaikuntam Bhuvanottamam Bhagavan Samyak Darshayamasa. So Brahmaji is so obedient. He is like a good student. When he heard Tapa, he didn't do so much research on that. Immediately he started doing the austerity. Immediately he followed. Then Bhagavad Agna Puraskarena, just by the words, just by that Tapa itself, he immediately followed the Tapasya. Then what happened? And where he is in the Nabi Kamalam, which is coming from the lotus navel of the Narayana. So in that he is sitting there itself, stitva eva tat toshanaihi, that means to please the Vishnu, to please the Hari. So he did the tapasya. So then Lord became very happy. Sabhajita, that means Lord is very nicely worshipped by the Brahmaji. So then bhajanena vasikrutah san, Lord was completely captured by that worship. Then what he did? Swalokam Vaikuntham Bhuvanottamam. So his own abode, that Vaikuntha, he showed to the Brahmaji. Next, Yad Yataha Vaikunthat Param Anyad Vaikuntam Param Sreshtam Na Vidyate. What is the Sandarshayamasa Param na Yat Param. Param na Yat Param. This is important. Yat means Yataha, means Vaikuntat. Param Anyad Vaikuntam Param Sreshtam na Vidyate. So what he showed? He showed the Vaikuntha. There is no other place which is superior to Vaikuntha. So that one he showed. That means he showed the highest planet. He showed the highest planet. Parama Bhagavat Vaikunthat. That means there are even Vaikunthas also, there are so many are there. You know? Millions of Vaikunthas are there. On the bank of the Viraja, there are millions of the Vaikunthas are there. In that Vaikunthas, which Vaikuntha he showed? The topmost. So the topmost Vaikuntha he showed. Then if you take it as a Goloka, then Krishna. That means Krishna came and he showed his Goloka. Okay. That also you can take. There is a two, anyway you can take like this also. Or otherwise you can take the topmost Vaikuntha of all the Vaikunthas. Like that also you can take. So now we take here as the Vaikunthas, the Vaikuntha which is top among all the Vaikunthas. That Vaikuntha he showed. That means Parama Bhagavat Vaikunthatvat. That means he is the Parama Vaikuntha. Yadva. There is another way of explanation of this. Yad Yataha Vaikunthat Param. Vaikunthat. Yad means Yataha. That means Vaikunthat Param Brahmakyam Tattvam Param Bhinnam Na Bhavate. There is another way of meaning. Yat, what is that? Param na yat param. How to describe this in another way? How to give the meaning? Yataha means Vaikuntha. Param, param means Brahmakya Tattvam. Here param means Brahmakya Tattvam. So, Yataha param
Yatah, sorry. Yatah param, yatah param, param na yat param. Okay, sorry. Param na yat param. Yat param na param. This is the way we should take. That means Brahman is not different from the Vaikunta. Vaikuntat param Brahma, param Tattvam, param Binnam na bhavati. So this Vaikunta is nothing but is non-different from the Brahman. That also you can take. That is also philosophy. Yes? Brahman is different from the Vaikunta? No. Yes. That means Brahman is also non-different from this Vaikunta. That is the meaning. Next, Swarupa Sakti Visheshavishkarena Mayayana Vrutam Tadeva Tadrupam Ityardaha. Boring? No, that is clear, Prabhu. That is clear. You want to give, what do you want to say? Oh, you are going for next line. Swarupa Sakti Visheshavishkarena Mayaya Anavrutam Tadeva Tadrupam Atadrupam Ityardaha. Yeah. So this Vaikunta is non-different from the Vishnu. Why? Because this Vaikunta is also a manifestation of is a Swarupa Sakti only. So that's why it is uncovered by the Maya. Mayaya Anavrutam. Tadeva Tadrupam. That means this Vaikuntam is non-different from Krishna or the Vishnu. Agre tu idam Vakti karishyate. That means even we will discuss this. That means Lord and Lord Vaikunta, Lord's earrings, Lord's of face, Lord's of hands, Lord's of name, Lord's of form, Lord's anything, Lord's of abode are non-different from the Lord. And all are because of the Swarupa Sakti only. And Swarupa Sakti means he is internal to him. These are all manifestation of Swarupa Sakti means these are all non-different from him. Swarupa means what? It is the internal form. It's non-different from the internal form. So that's why this Vaikunta is not separate from the Krishna. This we will discuss even more elaborately in this Sandarbha. So what is the Swarupa Sakti? What is the Bahiranga Sakti? What are the different manifestations of Swarupa Sakti? So all these things we'll discuss. Agre Vakti karishyate. That means he will explain in further sections. Tadrushatve hetuhu. Why? How can you say Vaikunta is non-different from the Krishna? So what are the qualities of this Vaikunta? That you should understand. How this Vaikunta is looking? Are there any kleshas in that Vaikunta? That means the properties, the characteristics of the Vaikunta are what? First you should know. Then you can decide. Oh, Vaikunta is also having the characteristics of the Lord only. That's why this is nothing but the manifestation of his internal energy. How can you say Vaikunta is the manifestation of his internal energy? To say that what you need base. Base you need. That means you need to know the characteristics of the Vaikunta. See, Bhaiya, you already heard the Prabhupada philosophy, then you are thinking that, oh, it's a simple point, what is there, so Vaikunta is non-different from the Krishna, that's we already know. But you are the first person in the Sampradaya and you are establishing this point, then how much pain it is there, you know? How much you need to think? How much systematically you should go? Now sab kuch mil gaya, you got everything and it looks things that, oh, it's a simple. No, it's not simple actually. So he is establishing, that's why. This Acharya now he is establishing. After this you are reading,
other books, so that's why it is looking very easy for you. So here now, Vyapeti Vyapeta Sanklesha Vimoha Sadvasam. The characteristics is, first one is, all Vyapeta, that means it's a divide of Sankleshas. That means there are no kleshas. What are those kleshas? Avidya, Asmita, Raga, Dvesha, Abhinivesha, Panchaklesha. There are the 5 kleshas. Next, Vimoha. That means Taihi Vaichityam. Sadvasam means Bhayam. Vepetani Yatratam. That means there is no 5 kleshas, and also in the Vaikunta there is no Vimoha, and also there is no Bhayam. Vepeta Sanklesha Vimoha Sadvasam. Vimoha means, what is English translation? Bewildering. Huh? Illusion. Okay. Nothing is there. And next what? Swasya drishtam darshanam tadvidyat. Swadrishtavadbihi parushairabhishtutam. So who will desire this place? Based upon this also you can understand the property of the Vaikunta. So who will like that Vaikunta? Who will like to go to that? So if I am a materialistic person, no. But who wants? So Swadrishtavadbihi purushaihi. Swadrishtavadbihi. That means people who has seen themselves. Swasya drishtam darshanam tadvidyate yesham. That means taihi atmavidbihi api abitaha sarvamsheneva stutam slagitam. Even it is desired by the people who have realized themselves. Even Atmarams also, they want this. Means it is really a very great place. Next. What is the proof for this? How can you say? Even this Vaikunta is desired by even the realizers of the Atma also. That means even people who realized Atma, they also desire it. How can you say? There is, from the 3rd canto, our Kumaras, they are saying themselves. Atate munayo drishtva nayanananda bhajanam vaikuntam tadadishtanam vikuntam cha swayam prabham bhagavantam parikramya pranipatyanumanya cha pratijagmuhu pramuditaha shamsanto vaishnavim sriyam. What they did, these 4 Kumaras? They went to Vaikunta. Atate munayaha. Munaya means 4. Sanat Kumara, Sanat, Sanak, Sanak, Sanatana, Sananda or Sanak. So munayaha drushtva nayanananda bhajanam Vaikuntam. They have seen the Vaikunta and also tad adhishthanam vikuntam cha. The person who is sitting in that Vaikunta. That means Vishnu. They also see him. Bhagavantam parikramya. They circumlated. Pranipratya. And also they obeisances. Anumanya. And also they gave the respect and everything. Offerings. Next what they did? Pratijagmuhu. They went back. Pramudidaha. By what? They became very much delighted. Pramuditaha. They became so happy. If it is like a material place, then these 4 Kumaras will not become so happy. Because they are already Atmaramas. And even that kind of people also became more happy. Means that place is so different from the material place. That's why, my dear Advaitins, don't think Vaikunta is also like a place here in this material world. No. It is not the Mayavachana Chaitanyam. It is not the Mayavachana Chaitanyam. It is beyond the Maya. It is beyond the Klesas. It is beyond the Bhaya. It is beyond the illusion. So these are the points he is establishing.
Jiva Goswami very strongly is establishing, is breaking their philosophy. Pramuditaha Shamshanto Vaishnavim Sriyam. After glorifying the glories of the Vishnu, so they became very happy and they left that place. Next. Punaha tadrushatvameva vyanakti. In the next sloka, pravartate yatra rajastamastayoh sattvam cha mishram na cha kala vikramah na yatra maya kimuta pare harer anuvrata yatra sura surarchitah. It's a direct punch. It's a directly it is said. Na yatra maya. There is no maya. It's direct. But see, because these others' eyes are completely blind actually. They don't see this. These Advaitins and other philosophers, whoever, they cannot understand. But we already established Bhagavatam is the emperor. Yes. Chakravarti Pramanam. Samrat. Samrat Dhananand. He's a Samrat already. Then if he doesn't want to accept Bhagavatam, then we'll do challenge there itself. We will fight with that. First to decide that Bhagavatam is the ultimate scripture or not, ultimate Pramana or not. So if he is able to break that, then we'll accept. But he cannot break us. So then he has to accept everything. So now how this Vaikuntha? Na pravartate yatra rajastamastayoho. Pravartate yatra rajastamastayoho sattvam cha mishram. In this spiritual world, there is no rajoguna and there is no tamoguna and there is no tayoho mishram. That means the one which is always comes along with these two. What is that? Along with the rajas and tamas, who will be there all the time? Sattva. Yes or no? These three friends always stay together. They never leave each other. Maybe sometimes one will become hero and other two will become zero. Zero means they will become little down. Not zero, but they will become down. But they never leave their company. They always three goes together. It's impossible to separate one from that two. In the material world, you cannot separate Rajoguna from the other two. It's impossible. Can you find any object which is purely Rajoguna? Or can you find the object which is purely Tamoguna? And any object purely Sattva-guna? No, it's impossible. Maybe 1.01% Sattva-guna should be there. Or the Rajoguna or Tamoguna, whatever. So that's why what he said, here Brahmaji is saying, here Sukadeva Goswami is saying to Parikshit. So whatever Brahmaji is seeing, that Vaikuntha is such a way, there is no Rajoguna, Tamoguna and also Sattvaguna. Yatra Vaikunte Rajastamascha na pravartate tayoho mishram sacharam jadam yat sattvam tadapina. Even material goodness also is not there. Kintu anyadeva. That means what is there then? Then pure goodness is there. That means Visuddha Sattvam. Tachaya sushtu stapayishyamana mayataha para Bhagavat Swarupa Sektihi tasyaha vrittitvena chidrupam suddha sattvakyam sattvam iti tadiya prakarane eva stapayishyate. So we will discuss, that means about the Swarupa Sekti and also the Vaikuntha. So in that same chapter we are also going to discuss the Sattvam which is there in that Vaikuntha is not the material Sattvam and it is nothing but the Vritti of the Swarupa Sekti only. That's why it is also Chit only. This point we'll discuss in the future. Okay, clear? Getting or not? No? The sattvam, what is existing in the spiritual world, is not the material sattvam. It is the vritti of the Swarupa Shakti. That means it is a function of the Swarupa Shakti. Or otherwise it is a one form of the Swarupa Shakti only. So that's why this sattvam is also chit only. Okay, this is clear? So like this we will discuss in coming sections. So that's why in the spiritual world, in the Vaikunta, there is no jada. Even jada sattvam, that means materialistic goodness also is not there. Next, stapayushyate tadeva cha yatra pravartate yatra. डेटा खत्म हो गया. तच्चया स्वरूप शक्ति तस्याः वृत्तित्वेन चिद्रूपं शुद्ध सत्ताख्यं सत्वम् इति तदीय प्रकरणे एव स्थापयिष्यते तदेव च यत्र प्रवर्तते इत्यर्थः. That means there will be in the Vaikunta only Suddha Sattva only is there. Tatha cha Narada Pancharatre Jitante Stotre. Even in the Narada Pancharatra also, and also in the Jitanta Stotra also it is said. Lokam Vaikunta Namanam Divya Shadguna Samyutam Avaishnavanam Aprapyam Gunatraya Vivarjitam. What is this? Gunatraya Vivarjitam. Avaishnavanam aprapyam. That means non-devotees cannot get this Vaikunta. And how this is Vaikunta? Gunatraya vivarjitam. There is no sattva guna, there is no rajo guna, there is no tamo guna. Divya Shadguna Samyutam. That means all the 12, Divya Shat means 6 into 2, 12 good qualities. Those are counted in another place. We'll see that. Shat means 6. Divya Shat. Oh, sorry. Divya Shatguna means that's Aishwarya Gnana Ityadi. Okay. Yes. Aishwarya Samagrasa Virya Shasriya. Okay. Padmottara Kande tu. Even in the Padmottara Kande, it is said tu Vaikunta Nirupane tasya sattvasya aprakrutatvam swastameva darsitam. That means in the Padma Purana also, Padma Purana, we are hearing about that means Lord Shiva is explaining about Vaikunta to Parvati. There he is explaining the sattvam, whatever is existing in this Vaikunta is not the material sattvam. Yeah. People who always get Mayavadis, they try to pull our leg. Even if they accept Bhagavatam, so they may show this kind of sloka, sattvam is there, then how can you say this is different from the material world? It is also part of the material world. It is also Maya. So they may argue like that. So just to defeat them sufficiently, so Jiva Goswami is giving the sufficient quotes. Evam prakruta rupaya vibhute rupamuttamam Tripada vibhuti rupam tu srunu bhudara nandini pradhana parama yomnoro antare virajanadi vedanga sveda jajanita yoyai prasavita subha tasyaha pare paramayomni tripada bhutam sanatanam amrutam shashvatam nityam anantam paramam padam suddha sattvamayam divyam anantam brahmanah padam ityadi. So here few words. Bhudara Nandini. Bhudara means what? Bhudara means the holder of the earth planet. Bhumi, Prithvi. Who is holding the earth? Nuts. if you want to, two plates, you want to fix it, what you will do? You will just tight it with the a screw. What is the screw which will hold the Prithvi? What are those? Are hills, Parvata, mountains. What is the use of mountains? Mountains hold the earth. You think that the earth is holding the mountain? No. If you destroy all the mountains, what will happen? Earth will not be balanced. Balance means it cannot be properly situated. It will slip from his place. That's why Bhudhara means the holding person of the holder of the earth. That is the mountain. Parvata. Parvata Nandini. Who is that Parvata Nandini? Parvati. Oh my dear Parvati. Like that Shiva is saying, my dear Srunu, you hear. Prakruta Rupaya Vibhutehe Rupamuttamam Tripad Vibhuti Rupam Tu Srunu. Till now I explained about the material world. That is the one portion. Out of four, one part is the material world that you already heard. Now you are going to hear about the three parts. Out of four, three parts are the spiritual world. And about that now you hear. What is this? Pradana Paramayomnor Antare Virajanadi. There is a river between the Pradhana and Paramavyoma. That means spiritual sky. There is a spiritual sky and there is a Pradhana. In between, who is this? Viraja. Pradhana Paramavyomnor Antare Virajanadi Vedanga Sveda Janita Toyai Prasavita Shubha. There is a water in that. What kind of water that is? Vedanga Janita. It is coming from the body of all the limbs of Vedas. Svedaja janita toyaihi prasavita subha tasyaha pare yomni tripadbhutam sanatanam. On the bank of this river, on that side, there is a three parts. Out of four, three parts of the creation is there. And that is in the Paramavyom, that is in the spiritual sky. Amrutam Shashvitam Nityam. What is that? That is Amrutam. There is no death. Immortal place. Shashvatam. That is eternal. Nityam, eternal, and that is permanent and eternal. Anantam. That is unlimited. Param Padam. There is a supreme. Shuddha Sattvamayam Divyam. That is what? Shuddha Sattvamayam. It's not simple Sattvamayam. Because in the Pancharatra also Narada Muni said, Trigunatraya Vivarjitam. There is no material world, material quality, material modes. That means here Shuddha Sattvamayam, he said. Shiva is saying, that means it is a pure goodness. Divyam Anantam Brahmanah Padam. It is the abode of the Brahman. That is the sitting place of the Vishnu. Like this, Shiva he said, 5 minutes we will go. Prakruta gunanam paraspara vyabhicharitvam tu vuktam sankhya kaumudyam anyonya vrittaya iti. What we learn from the Sankhya Tattva Kaumudi. You all know Sankhya Tattva Kaumudi. This Shastra is telling about the Sankhya philosophy. Counting. So, according to this book, what? Anyonya mituna vrittaya. This material Sattva-guna, Rajoguna, Tamoguna, these three always together. Anyonya mithuna vrittaya. They always together. In the Tika,
for this karika, in that karika stika also it is there. Anyonya sahacharabi avinirбhaga vrittinah iti yavat. That means you cannot separate sattva-guna from rajas tamas, or otherwise you cannot separate rajoguna from the tamas sattva, and you cannot separate the tamoguna from the rajas sattva. Like this. That's impossible. Bhavati cha atra gamah, bhavati cha atra agamah, अन्योन्यमितुना सर्वे सर्वत्र गामिनः रजसो मिथुनं सत्वम् इत्याद्युपक्रम्य नेषामादिश्च संयोगो वियोगोपलभ्यते इतीति तस्मादत्र रजसो असद्भावात् असृजत्वं तमसो असद्भावात् अनाश्यत्वं प्राकृतसत्त्वाभावाच्च सच्चिदानन्दरूपत्वं तस्य दर्शितम्. So finally, from all these slokas, we are understanding that there is no rajoguna, there is no tamoguna, there is no sattva-guna. What in the sloka also it is said that nayatra rajastamaha, that means rajoguna, tamoguna is not there. Then automatically we should understand that because these three people cannot leave anyone. They always three together. That means, so even sattva-guna also is not there because rajas tamas, leaving the rajas tamas, sattva-guna also will not stay. That is a sutra, that is a standard rule. So that's why you cannot say that. So Vaikuntha means it is the purely filled with the material goodness. You cannot say even like this also. This is the proof. Now the point is, so since there is no rajoguna in the spiritual world, that's why there is no creation. There is no creation in the spiritual world. Since there is no tamoguna in the spiritual world, then what is not there? There is no destruction. Creation is due to rajoguna, destruction is due to tamoguna. Since there is no prakruta sattvagunam, that's why there is Satchidananda. That means Satchidananda Rupam. That means it's a blissful nature. That means Satchidananda Rupatvam Tasya Darshitam. If there is a prakruta sattva, then there is a material bliss. But since prakruta sattva is not there, then there is spiritual bliss. That means the bliss, whatever is there, that is spiritual bliss. That means Satchidananda Rupam. Tasya Darshitam. Why? How can you say? That means it is a Satchidananda Jagat. That means it is completely, purely, spiritually bliss. Tatra hetuhu. What is the reason for this? Nacha kala vikramaha. That means kala vikramena hi prakruti kshobhat sattvadaya pratakriyante. Tasmad yatra asau shadbhava vikara hetuhu kala vikrama eva na pravartate tatra tesham abhava sutarame veti bhava. There is no influence of time in that place. You see, the sattva, raja, tamas, these three will interact each other and create these so many varieties of things. By what? By help of what? Time. That's why when Vidura asked what is the time to the Maitreya, then Maitreya answered in what way? He told about the 10 creations, yes? And also in the 10th chapter he told about when Vidura asked a question, what is time? Then he said 10 creations. That means 6 primary and 4 secondary creations. Why he said? Because another form of the time is nothing but the interaction of the modes. Guna Vaikaryam. Guna Vaikrutam. What is that? Guna Vai... Guna... Jobi, whatever, that's... So, Vikarata. That means the... Guna? That is the... Yes. Interaction of the modes. Interaction of the modes also is the
is the form of the time only. That means because of the form time only it is happening. So that's why to describe the time, so he said about the interaction of the modes. Interaction of the modes will happen, and these 10 creations are there. And also in the next chapter he explains the directly different units of the time also. So that's why there is no influence of time in the spiritual world, means there is no interaction of modes. So that's why there is no creation, there is no destruction, and there is no material happiness. This is also one more point. क्या करे, छोड़ दे, बेचारा सब लोग हैंड संदीप ने मुझे छोड़ दो. Wow, thanks bro. I am very much impressed. Okay, I am leaving. Huh? No. Okay, we will end up our class here. Brahma Sandarbha is finished, Prabhu. This is Bhagavat Sandarbha. Anyway, that we crossed. Tomorrow we'll run. Now onwards we'll run from these Anuchedas. He is there. Bhagavatam is there. Tomorrow Bhagavatam class is there. Yes, usual time. Yes. Okay, thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.